Hey everyone, welcome back again to At the Table, a show that asks you to pull out a chair, take out your tabletop role-playing books, and join us at the table while we discuss amazing and cool things constantly happening in the world of tabletop role-playing games. Before we get into what we're going to be talking about today, some of you may remember or already know, quick round of introductions. Firstly, my man, Mr. Michael Powell, tell them who you are and where they can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
As BJ said, I am Michael Kapow, and you can find me all over the interwebs on my social media, which is at Mr. Kapow. That's MrKapao. And how about you, PJ?
Well, as you know, my name is PJ McGaw. You can find me everywhere at pj.mcgaw. And when I'm not here doing it at the table, you can see me Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, hosting and GMing the Edge of Legend, the flagship game, and it's getting crazy. It's taking off into a big, big war. It's going to be fun. And also, Fridays at the Life Action Roleplay Twitch doing Secret as I almost slip and kill myself in my chair, but also play a half-elf bard named Kaelin. So without further ado, let's get right into it. We're still diving into this amazing book that came out, I believe, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago?
Which book? Which book are you talking about?
Oh, it's this book called Secrets of Magic.
Oh, yes, technically the play test of these two classes, because the book doesn't actually come out until next year.
That's right. So everything here is playtest material, and what's really awesome about Paizo that made it, they're really reaching out to us, the players, the creators, the loud nerds, and they're like, hey, what works, what doesn't, let us know. So if we say anything and you're like, that sounds overpowered, or that sounds weak as hell, find us on our Instagram, find us on our Twitter, find us on our Facebook, leave a note, say, hey, I saw At the Table, I thought Summoners sounded busted, here's why, and we'll go, you're right. Hey, Paizo, this guy, this gal, this awesome nerd said this. Learn from it.
Really quick, I'm just going to let our audience know about the playtest a little bit. The playtest is going to run until October 16th, 2020, and I believe the book is going to be entitled Pathfinder Secrets of Magic, and will be out in July of 2021.
That's right. So if you want to get your normal spellcaster, and I say normal for this one reason, normal spellcaster from the other Pathfinder books, like your wizard and your sorcerer, amped up with some new magic spells, look forward to more magical content but if you also want to play brand unique to Paizo spellcasters, like last week we covered the Magus, which is the amazing martial fighter that combines spells and swords for really cool, powerful combinations, or as I heavily elbow dropped, the idea of being a monk that could punch with magic. Mm-hmm. Oh, I was so excited. That's a build I've been doing since first ed, yep. And now it's infinitely easier to do. But now we're going to be talking.
I want to point out Scoutmaster of the Troop posted, oh man, next year? Yes, next year. If you saw our Edge of Legend game, I played the Investigator class in its playtest version, the much weaker playtest version, for like 4 months. So if I could wait 4 months, just saying.
Yeah, that's true. And the thing is, though, kudos to how great of a character builder Michael is. He had a far, and apologies, Paizo, because the Investigator right now is delicious, but he had a far inferior product when he first started, and still found a way to absolutely dominate in combat and in role play with his build. So, you can still take a janky product and make it really good if you think outside the box.
Use your actions. That's what I'm saying. Use your other. If you're not doing your main attack, look into Trip, look into Demoralize, look in all these other abilities that comes in the base product.
That's very true. With nothing more than a high charisma modifier and a chain whip, Michael did with ease what most bards have to struggle with magic to achieve. That almost rhymed, which means it's true.
But yeah, we're talking about summoners today, and as you can see by my hat, it's time to do your best JoJo pose.
Oh God, I'm sitting down in a chair. It's supposed to be hard.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, we gotta stop now, or we're gonna stay that way for the rest of the show.
Oh God, no one moves like that, especially no one
Yeah.
with that much musculature.
Oh man, they must have go to a chiropractor like regularly.
Ugh, with the spines turning to dust from those horrible
hmm
poses.
hmm So anyway,
Also,
let's start with
yeah,
the
continue.
summoner. Let's start talking about their key abilities, hit points, and whatnot. Do you want to start that off with us, PJ?
Sure, sure. In fact, do you mind if I just give them the first page rundown really fast?
Sure.
Sure. So, a lot of this may seem like old hat to you guys, so I'm just going to run through the first page pretty quickly. The first page rundown. As a sorcerer, your key ability is Charisma. This will be effective for your DCs and abilities. Also, your hit points are 10 plus Constitution modifier. You are a caster with a starting base value of 10 HP.
Yeah. You basically have martial HP, a martial
Yeah,
class HP.
you have a fighter's HP, and you're gonna be like, oh man, that sounds so good. Oh, just you wait. It's tricky. So moving on from HP, you get your initial proficiencies at level 1. You are trained in perception. Thank you, Paizo. You are an expert in fortitude, trained in reflex, and an expert in will saves. You are trained in one or more skills determined by your Eidolon, and you are also trained in additional skills 3 plus intelligence modifier. So you already have this potential to be trained in a lot of things. Your attacks, you are trained in simple weapons and unarmed strikes. Defenses, you are trained in only unarmored defense. You're still a caster after all. And you are trained in spell attack rolls and spell DCs for your class. It's the basic rundown. But what's interesting to note here is that this class already probably doesn't work very well. Maybe we can make it happen, but it already pairs very well with the champion paladin or any of the champion variants. But more on that later, or not. Moving right along, let's get to the class features. Michael, take it away.
All right. Class features. We start off with you get the usual ancestry and background. Uh, Initial proficiencies. First level, you gain a number of proficiencies that represent the basic training. These proficiencies are noted at the start of the class. And the meat and potatoes of this class, honestly, the whole reason why you're going to be playing this summoner is your Eidolon. I pronounced it right.
You did it. You killed it,
Yeah,
my
I
dude.
did it. Yeah, before chat, I was like, how do you pronounce this again? Ah! But anyway,
It's difficult. It's weird.
yeah. But anyway, this is gonna be this is a long one. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna paraphrase a couple parts. So yeah, you have a connection with a powerful and otherworldly entity called the Eidolon, and you can use your life force as a conduit to manifest the Eidolon into the mortal world. And Eidolon is a being formed of basically the essence of your mind, spirit, and your life. So you have a very personal connection with your Eidolon. Honestly, like I said, it's basically kind of like your stand in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh yeah, big time. I think the big thing to take away from all this, and the reason why Michael is wearing his amazing JoJo hat, is that these Eidolons, they're going to be your stands. They are heavily your stands in a very good way.
Let's see. Basically, what's really cool about their Eidolon is you get to customize your Eidolon. Uh, you could choose. You can have it to be like an angel, which is a divine Eidolon, or a beast, which is a primal Eidolon, devotion phantom, which is a occult Eidolon, and a dragon, which is an arcane Eidolon. And also, depending on what type of Eidolon you choose, will also determine what kind of spells you could cast as a summoner. So, which we will go into later. And the appearance and general form within that you choose will also align with how your Eidolon is going to be played. So that's one of the things I thought was really cool because I always like that customizational feel of being able to create a totally unique thing for your class. You know?
Yeah. Scoutmaster of the troop just said dragon. Well, he said Dargan. Um, and I know it's Ian, so I'm calling him by his proper pronoun. He played Targan, which you're entirely right. Michael Powell may have already covered this, but yeah, your Eidolons come in certain pre-designed packages, depending on a sort of school type. So Divine would be Angel, Primal is a Beast, Occult is sort of a really cool Phantom of sorts, and the Arcane is a Dragon. And holy balls nuts, does it get crazy stupid from there.
Oh yeah, the dragon is cray cray. But anyway, the link between you and your Eidolon also takes a form of a glowing sigil, which is displayed on some part of your body, and it cannot be obscured by any magical or mundane way. So, which means both you and your Eidolon on some part of your body kind of has that Iron Man like glowing arc reactor, you know?
Oh, I love that.
So pretty much, so anybody looking at you and your Eidolon knows that you two kind of have a connection with each other because, well, you do.
Absolutely. And don't hold yourself back. You can go absolutely full glorious weeb and make it a giant glowing sigil on your hand, a la Roy Mustang, a la G Gundam, a la oh gosh, that one Parasite where his whole body is this living thing. Oh, Guyver, you can get the Guyver thing.
Or you go totally old school with the Majin symbol from Dragon Ball.
Yeah, oh, the Majin symbol. That's absolutely brilliant. And God, it's really brilliant considering the relationship between Majin and Buu. Yeah. Ian asks, does that interfere with invisibility? It does not interfere with invisibility. It's just, you know how sometimes you can like hide arcane marks or dispel them? This is a way to show that you have a summoned Eidolon that you are attached to. So visually speaking, it is impossible to lie. However, magically, I believe that this is not removable, at least by no arcane means. It's just
well, it glows when it also kind of glows, and you can definitely see it glowing when the Eidolon is actually it's out.
Yeah, when it's manifested. But I think invisibility, because there's nothing about this that says mechanically, rules as written, it does not say this breaks invisibility. So I'm going to take that as gospel.
Yeah, and also your Eidolon is not just like a mere puppet minion that just, you know what, hey, you do whatever I say, you know. This Eidolon, it's its own creature. You share the same, while you share the same life force and also work with each other as equals. You and your Eidolon share your actions, your hit points, and also your multiple attack penalty. So, what's basically you could have your Eidolon do 2 actions while your character as a summoner does 1 action, which is your 3 action in the action economy of Pathfinder. And also, if your Eidolon gets hurt, you both share your the same HP. Hence why you
absolutely.
have 10.
I was just going to say, this is why this caster has a ton of HP, because their life is the economy in this thing. Like, for example, if you're a wizard and you're caught in a fireball, you're taking fireball once. If you're a summoner with your Eidolon and both are in the fireball, you're taking fireball twice. Have fun with that.
Actually, I don't believe so. I think you just share 1 HP pool.
You do, however, the HP pool is for 2 targets collectively.
Oh, okay.
So if both of them are taking damage, then the same HP pool is affected. And this is really cool, especially for players who want to run and hide and have their Eidolon do all the work. This puts a lot of like real stress into the fight, you know. However, this also means, God forbid, if you are a frontline summoner, you are going to die twice as fast.
Yeah. And but the good thing is, if you get healed or your Eidolon gets healed, you both get healed because you share
Also
the same
true.
HP. Yeah.
Also true. This also kind of gets rid of the summoner's issue in Pathfinder First Ed, where they were 2 separate entities. So you had to track basically 2 character sheets. You still kind of do, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But one of the annoying things was that as the GM was fighting the Eidolon, the summoner had an ability in First Ed where they would basically siphon their own life points to heal their Eidolon, which basically created a situation where you now had 1.5 to 2 times players and about the same amount of health. Now they've completely inverted that. It's more GM friendly, probably not as player friendly.
It's
moving
also
right along,
less upkeep with the numbers.
also true. And speaking of upkeep with numbers, the last bit of the Eidolon, which is important, is shared status effects. You will share status effects with your creature. If you both have, like, as the book says, if you have slowed 1 as the summoner and the Eidolon has slowed 2, well, since slowed 2 is worse than slowed 1, now you both have slowed 2. So this is cool if you want to play up this idea of having a deep connection with your Eidolon, but this makes things extremely dicey as a caster, so you will have to be careful.
I want to say this: the summoner and your Eidolon, who wants to play the summoner, you got to be prepared to do a lot of resource management.
Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of questions, a lot of really good questions from Reap Psyche. First thing was, this stands out. Do they share buffs too? Yeah. I don't see any reason why not. There may be a specific feat that will put some better language into that question, but from what we can tell, rules is written.
There's also abilities that the summoner actually has built in that allows them to share their buffs and everything with the Eidolon, or just buff the Eidolon themselves.
Yeah, and Reaped also mentions different tricks that you could do as a summoner to go invisible and throw your voice, or to improve evasion. And as we continue through the basic features, you're going to see a lot of the basic defenses given to this class. This is probably one of the most tankiest, quote-unquote, casters you'll find, but that's because, well,
they share HP.
You're dying for 2, so what are you going to do?
All right, PJ, do you want to go with the next ability, the Manifest Eidolon?
Sure. Manifest Eidolon, 3 actions. Your Eidolon appears in an adjacent open space. If your Eidolon was already manifested, choose whether to unmanifest them or teleport them to an adjacent open space. I like this because it is a 3-action cost to do this. So if you don't have your Eidolon in combat, you're like, oh crap, that's my everything. You can spend your entire first turn choosing Pikachu. However, let's say you already have Pikachu out because you're Ash Ketchum and you don't put the damn thing away, you filthy heathen. Then you get to go Pikachu. Teleport over there. Be useful right in the fight. I gotta go hide behind the fact that I'm Ash Ketchum and I'm a 12-year-old boy. Sorry, I woke up really salty today for some reason. I don't know why.
Technically, you're going to want to have your Eidolon out most of the time, I believe.
Yeah, and this is where it gets into further details about the rules of manifesting an Eidolon. Bottom line is this. You have to remain within 100 feet at all times with your Eidolon. If you get too far away, they will vanish. If you or the Eidolon are reduced to 0 HP, of course, you will go unconscious, and the Eidolon will vanish. But you could also communicate with your Eidolon telepathically at all times. Again, like Ash Ketchum and Pikachu. Even when they aren't manifested, this is cool, because here's the reality. Your Eidolon is from another dimension that you're pulling out. This ability lets you coordinate your actions with your Eidolon to accomplish more than either of you could do alone. You gain the Act Together and Share Sense actions, which we'll be covering right next. Do you want to get both of those?
How about this? I'll take Act Together, you take Share Senses.
I can do that.
All right. Act Together, it's a 1-action ability, which you could use once per round. You and your Eidolon each perform a single action. You choose which order of the actions is taken, and you and your Eidolon can each take a different action, which is unbelievably awesome, because technically at level 1 you have 4 actions. Honestly, having 1 action is already just amazing on itself, right?
Yeah. And also just the economy here is disgusting. Once per round. For the cost of 1 action, you get 2. I don't know much about much, but I know that's a good deal.
Like, you can have your Eidolon do all 3 actions while your summoner does 1, or you could have split it even where you do 2 actions and your Eidolon does 2 actions.
Yeah, and
That opens up a lot of opportunity and things that you could actually do.
yeah, and not gonna lie, going over the whole shared actions things, I thought at first when I read it, I was like, okay, this is cool, but it's gonna get a little dicey with like tactics and turn economy. And then once you got the act together feature popping up, this cures all of that. It still allows both you and your Eidolon to have almost a full turn, or at least enough to get some juice out of that squeeze. And for another 1 action cost, you can share senses. You project your senses into your Eidolon. When you do, you lose all sensory information from your own body, but now you can sense through your Eidolon's body for up to 1 minute. You can also dismiss this effect. Hey, do you want remote viewing? Do you want remote hearing? Do you want remote punching? You can do all 3 by invading your Eidolon subconscious and writing it like a weird first-person shooter. Now your Eidolon is your secret agent, and now, granted, you're very vulnerable, but you got this thing.
Essentially, you have the Beastmaster ability.
Yes.
And it's not even like the first beginning level of the Beastmaster ability. You have the entire smorgasbord of the Beastmaster ability right there built into your Eidolon.
Absolutely. And here's a bit of fun flavor that as a GM with story-centric games, I love this. It's a special note to share senses. It's a 2-way connection. So your Eidolon can project their senses to you. So it's not just your remote viewing and remote sensing whatever your angel, devil, occult, dragon is doing. They can also project into you how they're feeling, what they're seeing, what their knowledge may be. It's this really awesome. It's a perk that's both mechanical and really fun for roleplay.
Next up, we have spellcasting. The spellcasting here is, honestly, it's the same as your Magus that we discussed in our last video.
Yep.
Let's see. Your connection to your Eidolon grants you limited magic, which is connected to your Eidolon's nature. You can cast spells using the cast a spell activity, and you can supply material, somatic, and verbal components when casting spells. Each day, you can cast 1 level 1 spell and 5 cantrips. You must know the spells to cast them, and you learn them via the spell repertoire class feature. The number of spells you can cast each day is called your spell slots. Really quick, if you look on the summoner spells per day table, it's like I said before, it's the same as the Magus. You have 4 spells you could cast. And each time you gain a new spell level, you lose your lowest spell level.
Yeah, so this is really weird, and I have a feeling that they are playing around with this concept because both classes from this playtest is using this model. I like to call it the sliding spell slot system, because the whole point is what they're trying to do is they're trying to create a static but powerfully static spell repertoire, whereas the past you have a buttload of first level spells, which end game probably aren't going to help you out much. But what they're doing here is like, okay, you only get 2 to 4 spells a day, but they are going to be at the highest to second highest possible potential. Now, moving forward with the spellcasting, sorry, I'm salivating for some weird reason. I guess I'm just so hungry for this juicy class. You get a lot of stuff that every other spellcaster does. Cantrips, spell repertoire, and heightened spells. But because your knowledge base never changes, but your spell cap does, every spell you're using is always going to be heightened. Yeah. That's what's important. Automatically, same as cantrips, because they also heighten automatically. So this whole thing is just the most powerful spell you can do, even though you're limited to how many you can do a day.
Yeah, your key ability is Charisma, and your spell attack rolls and spell DC use your Charisma modifier. And another thing really quick, I believe you're a spontaneous spellcaster as well, which means you don't have to pre-prep your spells like a wizard, you cast your spells like a sorcerer, which makes sense.
Yeah. And it's really cool about this, and we'll get into why that's fun, because there's a lot of flexibility with their casting. But there's two things after all the spell casting to remember, and that's the conduit spells and the conduit cantrips. The conduit spell, bottom line, it's your focus power spells. You get these from your Eidolon, and you can get specific focus power spells depending on the Eidolon that you chose. Now, here's where things get fun. Conduit cantrips. So the big thing about focus powers or focus spells is that they are an awesome, powerful spell, automatically heightens to your level half rounded down, and you have to spend a focus point to use this powerful spell. Now imagine you take a focus power and you turn it into a cantrip. A cantrip being done for free at will all day. Conduit cantrips are focus powers that are designed for this purpose. They are free and they can be abused.
Oh yeah.
I mean, with your expenditures of them. That's exciting. I don't know. I'm sure other classes have these. This is the first I've seen. That is amazing.
I also want to add that your conduit spells are a type of focus spells. It costs 1 focus point to cast a focus spell, and you start with a focus pool of 1 focus point, and you refill your focus pool during your daily preparations, and you can regain 1 focus point by spending 10 minutes using the refocus activity specifically connected with your Eidolon, which is kind of cool, roleplay wise, because you can refocus them by having a heart-to-heart conversation with your Eidolon, playing together, or meditating together on the nature of your bond, which is, I like that. I like that little RP kind of flavor there.
Yeah, it's very fun and very cute, and I like that you can take that for. Hold on, Green Psyche put Cantrip Abuse is my new Witch House band name. Totally, I'm here for it, man. Let me know when the tour dates come up. I want to go see Cantrip Abuse. It's just like, hi, we're Cantrip Abuse, and this is our first song. Shocking Grasp is not level 1. Anyway, moving right along.
Yeah, the focus spells are automatically heightened to half your level rounded up, much like cantrips. Focus spells doesn't require spell slots, and you can't cast them using spell slots. Taking fees can give you more focus spells and increase the size of your focus pool but though your focus pool can never hold more than 3 focus points. And you also learn the Evolution Surge Conduit spell, which grants your Eidolon one of several useful benefits in combat.
Yeah, so it's mostly kind of, if you've seen or read focus points and focus powers before, it's the exact same thing, although you get specific focus points and powers or spells for being a summoner. Like, for example, your cantrip that you get, your Conduit cantrip, is Boost Eidolon. I'm curious what a cantrip boost will do. We'll get there at the end. But moving right along, because a lot of this stuff is, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty standard. So I'm going to try and rush through the features a bit. Skill feats. Everyone gets those. Summoner feats. It's your class feats. Eidolon Unarmored Expertise. Your Eidolon, being the squishy jelly that it is, has now experts in our unarmored defense. At level 3, it gets expert. That is crazy.
I just want to point out also, that's your Eidolon, not your character as a summoner.
Yeah, no, you'll know when the word Eidolon is not in the skill feature, if it's you or the Eidolon or both. The Eidolon is the tank, not you.
Yeah.
General feats at 3rd level. Shared Vigilance at 3rd level. Now, Shared Vigilance means that you and your Eidolon both get Perception to Expert. Signature spells, kind of like the Magus. Basically, you have the spell that you're really good at casting. And this is what I meant about being a flexible caster. If you have 2 spells in a previous level and 2 spells in a higher level, you can, for free, on a whim, with no preparations or anything else, take a lower level spell and automatically cast it at a higher level that you can do in exchange for a spell slot. Easy. Skill increase at 3rd level. You get more skills. Again at 7th and 15th. Ability boosts, everyone gets them. Get stronger. Ancestry feats, this is good for your ancestry. Eidolon unarmed expertise. Now their natural weapons to hit are an expert at 5th level. That's also crazy.
It's kind of like a monk. You know what? Your Eidolon is essentially kind of a monk you have that goes along your adventures.
Absolutely. It is kind of like an oddly flavored monk.
Yeah.
Let's see. Eidolon Symbiosis. This is fun. Your Eidolon has learned how to inflict greater injuries with her. I'm sorry, wrong one. That's next. Your connection with your Eidolon strengthens, granting your Eidolon access to a new ability depending on their type. So when you go down the Eidolon, they're going to have like their first level ability, their 7th level ability, their 9th level ability. This allows you to activate and use their 7th level ability.
And it's different depending on what kind of Eidolon you have also.
Yeah, sorry. Reflexes put Eidolon Symbiosis. Oh, God. Now I'm getting this horrible idea of a summoner who's like an e-gamer and his Eidolon is like some sort of, oh God, I apologize if this offends anyone.
Don't go down that route, PJ. Don't go down that route. It's a dark and twisted route.
It's a dark and twisted route. Yeah, it's for the best. Hey, Malice1974, awesome to see you in the chat. We're talking about summoners from the playtest Secrets of Magic. Down this way lies madness. Yes, it does. Okay, so Symbiosis, basically your Eidolon gets its 7th level ability, but it also gets its own weapon specialization. So it's an additional 2 damage, 3, or 4, depending on their expertise with their unarmed strike, which, if you remember, at 5th level, they're an expert. So that's crazy. Shared reflexes at 9th level. Both you and your Eidolon get your proficiency in reflex to expert. It does not say anything about crit successing a success on reflexes, so keep that in mind. Expert spellcaster. Basically, proficiency ranks for spell attack rolls and spell DCs for spells of your Eidolon's tradition increase to expert. You're an expert trained person. Simple weapon expertise. Your simple weapons and unarmed weapons are now expert. This is you, the summoner. So keep that in mind. It takes 11th level for you to become expert in martial fighting.
Honestly, like, it's meh. Maybe you're better with a sling, or you know how to shank a person with a dagger.
Exactly. This is further proof. Because here's the thing. The simple weapon expertise at 11th level is not being done to grant the summoner any actual presence in combat. It's a balancing mechanic. They're doing this so that if, God forbid, you ever have to swing on someone, they are not so woefully under-leveled that it's impossible. They don't want you to fight, but they still have to give you the option. Simple weapon expertise, twin juggernaut.
Oh, yeah.
Which basically it means both you and your Eidolon get the normal class feature juggernaut. It sounds dope. I'm just imagining 2 juggernauts from the X-Men like running together and clotheslining people. But effectively speaking, you and your Eidolon both get fortitude saves to master. And we roll success on a fort save. It's now a critical success instead for both you and your Eidolon. Defensive robes. This is great for casters. Your proficiency rank in unarmored increases to expert. Granted, it's 13th level. Again, don't fight with your body. You're gonna die. Eidolon Unarmored Mastery says it right there. Your Eidolon is now a mastery in your strikes. Weapon specialization now does 3 damage.
Like I said, your Eidolon's kind of like a combination of a monk and a little bit of a fighter.
Absolutely. Which is a fun combination. Also, Rip Psyche, again, I wish I could give you hero points. You put don't stare too long into the E-Abyss, for the E-Abyss will uwu back at you. Ugh. Good. God, it made me laugh. I love it. So after Eidolon Unarmored Mastery, weapon specialization, at 13th level, now you, the summoner, can do 2 bonus damage on your expertly trained weapons.
You know how to stab better.
Yeah. And to put this into perspective, I believe like fighter gets this at level 5. You're getting it like 8 levels later.
Yeah,
so.
But technically, you're not really a weapon using class.
Yeah, I'm just trying to hit home. Like, don't build this guy to be a fighter. Eidolon Greater Weapon Specialization.
Ooh, this is good.
Yeah, at 15th level, your stand now gets a bonus 4, 6, or 8 damage, as opposed to 2, 3, 4, depending on their mastery, which at this point is an actual master, so they're doing plus 6 damage to everything else.
Yeah.
Shared
That's definitely
Resolve.
good.
Oh, yeah. Shared Resolve, basically Twin Juggernaut, but for your willpower and your willpower saves. Instead of a normal success, it's a crit success. It applies to both you and your Eidolon. Eidolon Transcendence. Your connection with your Eidolon approaches its peak, granting your Eidolon access to a powerful new ability depending on their type. So basically, this allows you to unlock and use your level 17 Eidolon power. And now, the capstones. Eidolon Defensive Mastery. The Eidolon's rank for unarmed defense is Mastered, and as a Master Spellcaster, your DC is Master. This is boring, useful, needed, definitely needed. Do not get me wrong, but it's boring.
I definitely feel once the finalized version of this class comes out in Secrets of Magic, it's going to be different. They're going to change this, much like how they change. They drastically changed Investigator. I think this is what's going to be changed.
Yeah, I also have to feel like because this entire class is solely based on the magical connection between you and your JoJo stand, between Ash Ketchum and Pikachu version 1.5, that the real crux, the real meat of this class is not in the features. The features are just there to make sure your basic meat and potatoes are being met. This class lives and dies by the Eidolon archetype that you choose and the feats, the class feats. I guarantee you, otherwise, this is just like, I'm a wizard with a summon ability.
Yeah, you're a wizard with a really powerful familiar.
Yeah. And speaking of a powerful familiar, let's jump right into all the cool Eidolons that you can have.
This is what this is the stuff that caught my eye when I was reading through the playtest. You know what, PJ, really quick, I have an idea. For our next playtesting for whatever that Paizo releases, let's make it a surprise. Let's not read it. Let's not go into it at all. Let's just go into it blind.
Okay, so we're just kind of going like, I don't know what this ability does. We're going to talk about it.
Chat, let us know. Would you rather us do that or have us do a little research beforehand?
Yeah, chat, what do you like? Do you like prepared PJ and Mike, or do you like PJ and Mike just winging it from the butt?
Which honestly is like most of the time.
Yeah, like we do like 5 minutes of research, so we're just really good at faking it. Speaking of nothing related to that, the very first Eidolon that you can choose as an archetype is Divine. Now, what I should say before going forward is that the archetypes give you a kind of a mechanical breakdown. It does not tell you how it looks and how it operates. It says, okay, so Divine, maybe an angel. You can decide at home, I want it to look like a seraph. I want it to look like a cherubim. I want it to be that one horrendous angel in the Bible where it's just one giant eyeball on fire and a bunch of wheels. Like, go crazy, have fun, terrify your friends.
Yeah, I also want to point out Divine Eidolons are not just angels. They can also be demons and psychopomps.
Yes, psychopomps. Oh my gosh, you can have
demons. A divine demon. I say a divine freaking demon.
I mean, yeah, which is funny because I remember looking over this. I'm like, where's the demon? Where's the demon? And then, in theory, a devil was at one point divine. Granted, I think they're more fiendish now. Oh, really fast. Malice 1974. We did discuss these shared hit points. I know I mentioned that I felt like this is much better for a GM's perspective, and I feel like it's much worse for a player's perspective. Michael, how do you feel about shared hit points?
I kind of agree, and also feel that this is one of those things where you just got to be really, really good at resource management, and I believe some of the feats will balance this out. And also, I think it's going to be tinkered with in the finalized version as well. Yeah,
I think it's definitely something that it's hard to balance, because if you give the Eidolon separate HP, you've now created a very different economy problem for your fights. If you give the player more HP, that might solve it, but we'll see what the feats down the line do. So the Eidolon for the Divine, judging by the home plane, I don't believe that these actually do count as demons, because what's cool is that they suggest, like, if you're coming from a certain alignment type, what home plane that may be. So if you have a neutral good divine Eidolon, that could be Nirvana. If you have a chaotic good Eidolon divine, that could be Elysium, you know. And then if you have a lawful good angel, that, you know, that could be heaven, whatever heaven, you know, the Muslim 7 heavens, the Catholic 7 heavens, or just the Christian, like, we just got one, we got a broke ass heaven. It's a medium-sized creature. Its primary damage is a D8. Its secondary is an agile 1D4, so you can choose which one of these attacks you want to use.
I also want to point out that all the Eidolons share this. They have one primary 1D8 attack, and the secondary is a 1D4 with agile.
That's a very good point, and that is also something that we can kind of use to skip ahead, because they're all going to have that.
Yeah.
Now, they have something called suggested attacks. Fists, unarmed attacks shaped like weapons. So I think this also gives you a lot more freedom to roleplay. The damage will always be 1d8 or an agile 1d4. You get to flavor, like a Green Lantern, how this manifests with regards to the creature you have summoned. At least with Divine. Divine, there's some flexibility. As you move forward, there's a bit more strictness, because once we get there, it makes sense. They also give you a stat block. This is a darn good stat block for a level 1 pet. 16 strength, 16. Oh, yeah?
I just want to say, I also want to point out all these stats are the same across all the Eidolons as well.
Oh, good. We can save more time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the strength, dex, and con, all 16. So they get a +3 to all their fighty stuff. Int is an 8. That kind of sucks, but again, they're meant to work for you. Their wisdom's a 12, so they can still have decent perception checks and participate in some wisdom-based roles.
Perception.
And the charisma's a 10. Exactly, perception. Insight is part of perception. That's my bad. And the charisma's a 10, which makes sense because they're not going to be doing any talking. At least probably not. They are trained in diplomacy and religion. And the angels get dark vision. They speak celestial. They have a speed of 25 feet. And their initial ability is called Hallowed Strikes. Every melee attack they do does +1 positive or good damage, which really only affects evil-aligned enemies, or enemies that have any sort of, like, DR that this would bypass.
Yeah, think of it as your Eidolon has, like, a silvered weapon that works only with bad creatures.
Yeah.
Evil creatures, yeah.
Oh, and the one awesome thing is, because they're considered holy, they can attack non-lethally without any penalty.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a fun little bump. So that is the angel. There's other abilities the angel gets. You know, your 7th and your 17th. Your 7th is the Traveler's Aura. It's an abjuration aura, and it has divine traits. Your Eidolon and their allies within a 20-foot emanation are protected from severe heat and cold, and your Eidolon is never flat-footed to creatures inside that aura that are of a lower level than the Eidolon, which shares, I believe, levels with you. When you gain the Eidolon Transcendent class feature, this aura evolves to the full benefits of an Astral Devas. Your Eidolon and their allies in the aura are protected from ambient environmental damage from any plane, including severe and extreme heat and cold, as well as more otherworldly dangers. So your Eidolon is now saving everyone from, like, the plane of fire, the plane of water, the plane of wind. And lastly for them, Angelic Mercy. At 17th level, they can cast a 9th level Remove Curse, Remove Disease, Remove Fear, and remove paralysis once per day each.
It's like having a little pocket cleric. It's like having a pocket cleric.
Yeah, and the fact that, I mean, granted, it's at level 17, but the fact that it's a 9th level remove spell, and that it's coming off of your Eidolon. Your cleric's not wasting any spells. Mm-hmm. You're not wasting any spells. It can do 1 each a day. Stupid. Yeah. That's awesome.
Oh, I'd like to point out, Malice is saying, I think some have different mental stats, and actually I was just looking through it. Yeah, some of the stats is different, so my bad.
It's okay. Hey, we will correct ourselves always, and we will
Mhm.
correct ourselves as we go.
Mhm.
Speaking of that, do you want to cover the Beast Eidolon?
How about you do the beast because I want to do the next one, and I'll do the dragon as well.
I think that sounds perfect. So the Beast Eidolon, you summon a scurry beast. Uh, sorry, that was anyway. So this is someone who chooses primal magic or the primal tradition. This is a beast eidolon. You can make up whatever cool hybrid monster you want. Do you? It of course it's medium sized. Do you want a medium sized jackalope? You're going to have one. Primary damage 1d8, secondary agile 1d4. Suggested attacks are claws, jaws, fangs, and horns. And they give you the damage type for that. If you have a special type in mind, like let's say you want to make a jackalope and you want to have a rabbit kick or a kangaroo kick, that could be 1d8 bludgeoning or blunt.
I'm actually
instead of
really curious about the beast, the summoner archetype now, because our known druid friend Woodward,
mm-hmm.
what if he has a beast eidolon?
Absolutely. Well, here's the craziest thing about this is that because the magic spells you gain access to and the skills you gain access to are dependent upon your Eidolon. So now you have this really weird kind of neutral caster who, depending on the Eidolon they bond to, can have, for all intents and purposes, the spells of that school and a monster. So if you are a primal summoner and you have a beast Eidolon, you're basically a druid with immensely smaller spell list, but a very
strong,
different,
like animal companion. Like this would be
yeah,
like super mush.
super mush, yeah. But of course, now granted, I think you also share the skills that your Eidolon has, so you could take intimidation in nature from this beast. Dark vision, you get dark vision for free, or is that just the Eidolon? Oh no, technically speaking, only when you use your shared senses do you get dark
They
vision
might
because
have
you're seeing it
they
through.
might have a feat. They might have a feat that might do something like that.
Yeah, we'll have to
We'll
see
see.
when we
We'll see.
get there.
Yeah,
But the
I didn't get to
creature
see the
gets
feats too much. I didn't go through the
yeah.
feats too much.
We'll get there soon. Also, I love we got the standing army from Scoutmaster of the Troop and Reap Psyche doing Mega Mush. So the beast, it's got dark vision. It speaks Sylvan. It can move at 25 feet. Its initial ability is Beast Charge, which is a 2-action purchase or 2-action use. Basically, you get to double your movement and attack. What's interesting is that barbarians get this too. So I would not be surprised if you are now summoning a Jackalope Barbarian. I'm really excited about that.
Mush is just filled with rage.
Yeah. You get a +1 bonus to the attack roll as long as you have moved at least 20 feet. So not only can you move twice and attack, but if this beast has moved 20 feet or more, you get a +1 to hit on that charge.
It's a full body tackle
With bonuses. It's
Yeah.
amazing. At 7th level, you get Primal Roar, which if you ever played that video game, put it in the chat because I don't feel like anyone has. Another 2-action ability. Your Eidolon unleashes a Primal Roar or another terrifying noise that fits your Eidolon's form. So maybe not the Jackalope. Your Eidolon attempts an intimidation check to demoralize each foe within 30 feet.
Can I just say this, PJ? Clearly, you have never heard a rabbit scream.
I'll say this. It wouldn't give me fear. It would confuse the heck out of me. I have heard it scream. It's terrifying enough to make you go, "What the hell is that noise?" And at 17th level, you get the Whirlwind Maul, which sounds really cool. Your Eidolon lashes out in all directions. Your Eidolon makes a strike with a melee unarmed attack against up to 4 enemies within reach. They can choose different unarmed attacks for each enemy. Each attack counts towards your multiple attack penalty, but don't increase your penalty until your Eidolon has made all their attacks. So for 2 actions, you can thrash about in 4 directions. And then if you do that, you're going to stack a buttload of penalties so that if you have 1 action left and you go, but now I'm going to attack that one, now it's going to be at the maximum 8 penalty. But you don't have to. You can strike 4 people for the price of 1 and then just not attack. Whirlwind Maul is kind of really crazy considering that this is just happening. Oh, thank you, Reap Psyche. Bloody Roar. Well, Bloody Roar and Primal Rage, both great games. Is Primal Roar not a game? You know, I think I'm getting Bloody Roar and Primal Rage mixed in my head. I think you're right, Reap Psyche. Because yes to both, you get 10 points because Bloody Roar and Primal Rage are some of my childhood favorite fighting games. 10 point. One hero point for you, Reap Psyche, to be used at any game that your GM will allow me to give you free points at. So moving right along, please cover the Devotion Phantom Eidolon.
All right, your Eidolon is a lost soul, unable to escape the mortal world due to a strong sense of duty, an undying devotion, or a need to complete an important task. Most Phantom Eidolons are humanoid with a spectral or ectoplasmic appearance, though some take far stranger forms. Your link to your Eidolon prevents them from succumbing to corruption and undeath, and together you grow in strength and fulfill your Phantom's devotion. You know what? The whole ectoplasmic bit now it just kind of has me thinking that movie Frighteners.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. Absolutely.
Yeah. But anyway, the tradition is occult, so which means if you choose the Phantom Eidolon, you get access to the occult spell list. Traits are Eidolon, Ethereal, and Phantom. The home plane is Ethereal. Size, medium. And you get the 1d8, 1d4. Melee attacks. Suggested attacks are Fist, Bludgeoning, Tendril, Bludgeoning, or a unarmed attack shaped like a weapon, which is really cool. And the stats for this is Strength 16, Dex 16, Con 16, Intelligence 10, Wisdom 10, and Charisma 10.
Yeah, that's the intelligence change that we heard about previously.
Yeah, which means they're like regular people, honestly. Just honestly a really buff regular person.
Yeah, what I love about this is that there's absolutely no penalties. Like other animals like lose a bit of intelligence. This is flawless, really.
Yeah. And the skills they have are medicine and occultism, which is very useful skills. Senses, dark vision, and language is actually one common mortal language the Eidolon spoke in life. Then we have a speed of 25, and then you have your Eidolon abilities. First one is Dutiful Strike. Your Eidolon deeply respects your assistance, and they extend their loyalty to you, attacking those who dare to harm you. Your Eidolon gains the Dutiful Strike reaction, which is a reaction ability. The trigger is a foe within 15 feet hits you with a strike and deals damage to you. And the requirements are your Eidolon has to be adjacent to you, which means they have to be right next to you. Your Eidolon instinctively flashes with ectoplasmic energy, allowing them to make a melee attack against a foe who dares harm you. Your Eidolon makes a strike with a melee unarmed attack against a triggering foe, even if that foe isn't within your Eidolon's reach. Ooh.
I like that.
They don't even have to be really next to you.
Well, that's just it, because now it makes sense. The foe has to be within 15 feet. I don't see anything about these melee attacks being a 10 to 15 foot reach. So in theory, if they shoot you the bow and arrow from 15 feet away, and your Eidolon's nearby, they can retaliate from 15 feet away. Yeah. Even though they have nothing else but their body that would suggest they do that. That's cool and spoopy. I love that.
I'm envisioning kind of like Dulcine from Street Fighter, like stretching their arms or legs like super fast, super far.
Oh, I'm seeing more like, and this is just where my brain is going for spoopiness. Like they cut the midair, and then from 15 feet away, you see like the wind move, and this gash just appears, even though there's like an impossible distance. This remote strike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. You also have your 7th level ability is called Steadfast Devotion. Your Eidolon's dedication makes it extremely challenging for your foes to bend their mind. Your Eidolon gains a +2 circumstance bonus to all saving throws against mental effects, and they roll a success against such a success effect when they get a critical success instead. If you have the shared resolve class feature and your Eidolon rolls a critical failure against a mental effect, they get a failure instead. Not too bad.
Yeah,
not too bad.
That's pretty good, because I believe I'm not too sure about some mind affecting spells, but if it's a mind affecting spell that would do a debuff or any sort of condition that would affect both the Eidolon and you, the summoner. So this does a lot of protective work for you. That's great.
And also it kind of protects you a little bit from demoralizing effects, which I believe is a mental attack.
Absolutely, or at least an emotional attack.
Yeah, and then you have the Dedication Aura, which is a 17th ability. After fighting together for so long, your Eidolon becomes devoted to protecting you and your allies as they are to their original cause. They gain a 20-foot Dedication Aura, which has the Abjuration Aura and the Cult traits. Whenever your Eidolon's allies within your aura takes damage, reduce the damage by up to your Eidolon's Constitution modifier. Ooh. You lose a number of hit points equal to half the amount by which the Eidolon reduces the damage rounded down.
Yeah, let me tell you the story that my face was saying when I read this. So at first I was like, okay, 20-foot aura, love me some auras. Every one of your allies within the aura gets, oh wow, they get a resistance to all damage equal to the Eidolon's Constitution modifier, which could be a +3 or more. That's pretty nice. What you take half that damage, round it down, you're taking a minimum of 1, but that's for everyone the thing's defending, which is everyone in the 20-foot area. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. It's great and it's bad. Oh no.
I'm really hoping that gets retooled because that's a double-edged sword when it comes to the Eidolon.
Yeah, it's cool because hey, clerics, do you not have enough to do in combat? We recommend constantly healing the summoner. Let's go with the Dragon Eidolon. Let's knock that out.
All right, the Dragon Eidolon. Because dragons have a strong connection to magic, their minds can often leave an echo floating in the astral plane. Extremely powerful, but unable to interact with the outside world on their own. Dragon Eidolons manifest in the powerful scale forms they had in life. Most take the form of true dragons, a bit smaller, but some mistake as drakes or other draconic beings. You forged a connection with such a dragon Eidolon, and together you grow to the might of an ancient worm, the mightiest of dragons. Ooh. The tradition is arcane. You have the astral dragon Eidolon and one more depending on your breath weapon. Your home plane is the astral plane. Size, medium. You have the 1d8 and 1d4 melee attacks, suggested attacks, claw, slashing, jaws, piercing, horn piercing, tail bludgeoning, and wing bludgeoning. Your stats are strength 16, dex 16, con 16, intelligence 10, wisdom 10, and charisma 10, much like the Phantom Eidolon. And your skills are arcana and intimidation. Not bad. Senses are dark vision, and they have a draconic language, and their speed is 25. And their Eidolon abilities are, the first one is breath weapon. Your Eidolon has a powerful breath weapon. When your Eidolon gains this ability, choose a damage type from among the acid, cold, electricity, fire, piercing, or poison types, and choose whether the area is a 60-foot line or a 30-foot cone. Your Eidolon gains the breath weapon activity. It has a trait matching the damage type. Your Eidolon also gains that trait, which means your Eidolon, it's a 2-action ability. Your Eidolon exhales a powerful blast of energy corresponding to their type. Your Eidolon deals 1d6 damage in the area you choose. When your Eidolon gained breath weapon with a basic reflex save against your spell DC. The damage has the type you choose. When your Eidolon gain this ability, your Eidolon can't use their breath weapon again for the next 1d4 rounds. At 3rd level and every 2 levels thereafter, the damage increases by 1d6, which is kind of like the Kobold breath weapon ability.
Yeah, but what's awesome about this is that this is it's not free obviously, but it's a 2-action choice, but so you're still doing other things. You know, you can use your shared action, whatever we did at level 1, that allows you to take an action with your dragon. I think so long as they're both 1-action points, otherwise that would get broken real fast. But you can do something, they can do something, and then cast the Dragon Breath, and it levels up with them, which is awesome. Hey Maynard, how's it going, man?
Hey,
Hey,
Reach
better.
Psyche says, piercing, sword breath confirmed.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I even went back and I went, I don't know. Granted, I would love a sharp breath. I think that would be awesome or hilarious or both. But I don't think that's a trait. I don't think piercing is a trait of a person. Maybe I want this to work. I want to find a way to make this work. Anyone in the chat, if you know trait, an animal or creature trait that would easily lend itself to breathing swords, please put it in the chat.
I was gonna say like maybe a porcupine, like flinging its quills.
Oh, sure, totally. But I need like that mechanical thing. Like you see how you have traits are astral, dragon, eidolon, and one more.
Mm-hmm.
So like if that would be I'm thinking if it was like primal, maybe it would be fire breath, or if it was like good damage, it could be a radiant dragon shooting out holy breath.
It could be a lot of teeth. That's what Reap Psyche says. Too many teeth.
Too many teeth.
Just spitting teeth like.
Get on a Paizo, make the traits teeth. We'll make
a tooth dragon.
A tooth dragon. The La Dentata demon. Moving right along. Draconic Frenzy at 7th level. Tell me more about that.
Draconic Frenzy is another 2-action ability. Your Eidolon makes 1 strike with their primary unarmed attack and 2 strike with their secondary unarmed attack in any order. If any of these attacks is a critical hit against a foe, your Eidolon instantly recovers the use of their breath weapon. Ooh.
Oh my god, that's insane. For 2 actions, you can attack 3 times and get an instant recharge of your breath weapon. Which, by the way, it has to take 1d4 rounds. So if you rolled 1, congrats, it's back no matter what. But God forbid you roll 2 or above and you use Draconic Frenzy, you get it back again. Mm-hmm. This is insane.
Yeah. And then we have the 17th ability called Worm's Breath. Your Eidolon can draw upon the power of worms to enhance their breath weapon. Your Eidolon gains Worm's Breath free action, which is a free action which you could use once every 10 minutes. Your Eidolon concentrates the power of the mightiest worms to make their breath weapon more spectacular. If your Eidolon's next action is to use their breath weapon, both damage and the area of the breath weapon are doubled.
Yep, free action, which means this is a free buff. So
yeah.
When you get level 17, and let's do some math here, shall we? So you get the breath weapon at like level 1. And for 3rd level and every 2 levels thereafter, it increases by 1d6, right? Mm-hmm. So that's 1d6, 2d6 at 3rd level, 5 has 3d6, 7 has 4d6, 9 has 5d6, 11 has 66, 13 is 7, 15 is 8, 17 is 9. Okay, so at 17th level, you can do an 18d6 breath attack for 2 action cost, not including the actions of the summoner as well.
Damn.
What?
Damn.
That is stupid. That is straight up stupid.
Really quick,
Pathfinder, don't fix Dragon OP broken.
Yeah. Really quick, since we described the 4 different Eidolons, which do you like best?
Oh man, that's a good question. Yeah, chat, let me know what you think, which Eidolon you like best, because I see so much potential here. The Angel obviously provides a lot of stability. It protects you from environments that would happen 24/7, which is a good like narrative protection. It can cast 9th level remove spells, 4 different remove spells.
Yeah, it's like having a little, like I said, a pocket cleric with you.
Yeah.
Like a pocket cleric or a pocket paladin.
Maynard said, you can tell it's good because once PJ figured it out, he laughed. Yeah. So I like numbers. Numbers are fun for me. The occult one is really fun because it also gives you defenses. It kind of is the similar but antithetical version of the angel. Like, yeah, I'm going to save you, but I'm going to save you in these other weird ways. The beast is like, I want to do raw damage, but I'm going to fight like a barbarian. Very, very forward and very obvious. My money goes on this stupidly overpowered dragon summon that can not only strike like literally everyone else can, he can strike more, and he can do breath fire, like I just said, 18d6.
Yeah.
And that's not even getting in the way of what you as a summoner can also do with your actions. What? What? Oh my god.
I definitely agree. My money's on the dragon Eidolon to be the most powerful. Kind of the weakest, I kind of want to say, would be the Phantom Eidolon, even though flavor, roleplay wise, that's my favorite one. That's my jam right there. But I think the Phantom one needs to have some work done to it. And also, one of the things I considered, you know how usually when they do the playtest things, they kind of hold off on one type of thing, one specialization. Like with the Investigator, in the playtest, they didn't have the interrogation. And in Swashbuckler, they didn't have Battle Dancer, I believe. I feel there's going to be a 5th Eidolon that they're going to release with the 4 Eidolons in the finalized version.
The first thing that strikes me as interesting about the Eidolons is that the Angelic Eidolon has an alignment plane, right? So you have Nirvana's neutral good, Elysium is chaotic good, and Heaven is lawful good. This tells me that they are going to release a divine, or maybe not divine, Eidolon that represents the planes of lawful evil, neutral evil, and chaotic evil. We've already seen this with the champions and their alignment, which thank you, Paizo, so much for making champions alignment-based and not only paladins or anti-paladins. But I can easily see this being devils. I believe in other campaigns they're called Yugoloths, which are the neutral evil chaos.
Yeah, like the minor
and then,
demons.
of course, they're weird. At least, okay, so it all depends on the lore you're pulling from. And in this lore, the idea is these are like, they're aberrants. They're from another plane. They're demonic-like, but they're not demons. And their whole thing is because they're neutral evil, they will give you whatever you want so long as they get whatever they want back. And it's not always money, but it's not always chaos.
When you say aberrant, what if there's an aberrant Eidolon, like a Beholder Eidolon or a Manticore Eidolon or something like that?
I would imagine that could, first of all, that'd be really cool. I could see that being down the road as like variants, like a beast variant Manticore, or here's some weird creepy mind flayer thing that could be
like a Griffin or something like that.
Ooh, that'd be cool. Oh, Scoutmaster of the Troop says they want an Ooze Eidolon.
Ooh, that
would be super fun.
I can see that as being kind of like a Phantom Eidolon actually, because it's just made entirely out of ectoplasm.
Yeah, or even being a weird variant on the Arcana house. Like, here's just raw chaos ooze. All right, now before we get too lost, because I would love to talk about this, it looks like the chat is pretty much saying dragon or bust, and also nerf the dragon. I agree. It's so powerful.
Yeah, nerf the dragon. Give a little bit of the dragon to the Phantom. That's what I want to say.
I want them all to have it, because I love that the beast focus fires like a barbarian, but I'd love to see the angel Eidolon get a smite or a smite equivalent.
Nice. That'd be nice. Yeah, but let's go into the feats.
Yes, please.
All right, let's have you start off with the feats.
First level, dual studies. Choose 2 different skills. Your Eidolon becomes trained in one of those skills, and you become trained in another skill. At 7th level, you each become an expert in those chosen skills. So first level, hey, I don't have enough skill proficiencies. Well, now your beast gets 2 more, and you get an extra 1, and down the road for free, you become an expert. Not bad.
Not bad. The next one is Sensory Evolution. Time for your Digimon to Digivolve! Your Eidolon evolves more acute senses. Your Eidolon either gains low light vision and dark vision, or gains scent as a imprecise sense within a range of 30 feet. You can select this feat twice, choosing the other option the second time.
Yeah, now I feel weird about this because this is something your Eidolon gets, and if I recall correctly, I think every single Eidolon got dark vision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't.
Why have low light vision? That. Dark vision is so much better.
Yeah, dark vision is just low light vision 2.0.
Let's get scent.
So yeah, if you want scent, scent's also cool. Synthesis. You can manifest your Eidolon using your own body as a vassal. Oh, don't make this a synergist. Don't do that, Paizo. You're going to regret it. When you manifest your Eidolon in this way, you become your Eidolon. Oh, no, it's happening. Rather than manifesting as a separate creature. While manifested in this way, you use your Eidolon statistics. No, you're doing it again, you fools. Your Eidolon can act, but you can't, except to use manifest and Eidolon to unmanifest your Eidolon. When you do, you remain behind in one square from your Eidolon, occupied until you unmanifest it. Since you can't act, you can't cast spells, activate, or benefit from magic items that normally benefit you and not your Eidolon, perform actions that have the tandem trait, or use other abilities that require you and not the Eidolon to act. Your Eidolon isn't limited by their distance to you, and you can't be separated. You can't be separately targeted. Wow, why that took so long to say. When you reach 0 HP, it leaves you. Okay, so.
Reap Psyche says, yes, wear it like a Gundam. Feel the power.
Yeah, for those of you that remember the summoner in First Ed, they had this archetype that you could use called the Synergist. And basically what it was is your summoned Eidolon would be worn like a suit. If Gundam's a great example, another great example, if you know the anime Guyver, just like Guyver.
Or hell, even Iron Man.
Yes, Iron Man for a more Westernly approach. Now, here's the thing. If you remember the Synergist, Paizo banned that archetype, only to be allowed with extreme understanding of GMs. But no, like at Pathfinder Adventure Leagues or Pathfinder Society games and everything else, the Synergist was banned because it was broken. You gained all of its positive traits, and you got to keep all of your positive traits, and you yourself got to embody all their powers and still have your own abilities. So they're trying to do it again, but in a balanced way, and I trust me, Reap Psyche, I love the Synergist, but it is a broken rocket ship.
And Scoutmaster of the Troop says, Eidolon Canthrippy.
Oh, I can see that. I don't like
Primal, like if you have a primal Eidolon, you just, if it's a wolf or something, you become the wolf man.
Oh God, or your dragon, you become the dragon. Or
you become a dragonborn.
You become a spoopy ghost.
Yes.
A spoopy Halloween ghost.
I kind of want to say if you have the occult, that's the most like wearing a Iron Man suit.
So I think the one attempt at balance they've done here is that they're saying you as a summoner cannot act. However, you and your Eidolon, whatever it would be, would still get a 3-action economy. Now, you as a summoner, not only do you not act, you cannot cast spells. So the potential for a dual economy is gone, which, thank God. Let's see. You also, as your summoner, don't benefit from any magical items or any equipment or anything. So literally, you become the Eidolon. So that's nice. It's not overpowered like it was in First Ed. And if you really want the tactile feeling of like, now I am Ultraman, do it. Go for it. Have fun. But, I got to see this thing in play practice because this worries me a lot.
Yeah. The next one is Unfettered Eidolon. You learn the magic that lets you temporarily allow your Eidolon to travel far from your side. You learn the Unfettered Eidolon Conduit spell. Increase the number of focus points in your focus pool by 1. Not bad, honestly.
It's not bad because
there's you always use another focus point.
Yeah, if for nothing else, then getting more things. Scoutmaster says, so it's like wild shape. Yes, true. If while you're wild shaping, you could do an 18d6 breath weapon almost every other turn, or attack 3 times for 2 actions. So yeah, it's like wild shape, but oh man, is it worse. Second level, reinforce Eidolon. You can increase your Eidolon's defensive traits instead of their offense. You gain the Reinforced Eidolon Conduit cantrip. Cantrip's always good. Get cantrips whenever you can. And we'll get into Conduit stuff when we're done with all these fat feats.
The next one is Distracting Summon Spell, which is, I believe, a free action? I believe that's a symbol for free action, right?
Yep.
You summon a creature exactly in the right spot to distract your foe from your Eidolon, providing a perfect opportunity for your Eidolon to attack. If the next action you take is to cast a spell to cast a 3-action summoning spell, then when the spell is complete, your Eidolon strikes a foe within reach of both the summoned creature and the Eidolon as a free action. The foe is flat-footed to the Eidolon strike.
Okay, so let's look over this for a second. This needs to be said for free.
Mm-hmm.
For free, when you cast a creature, when you cast a summon spell to summon a creature, your Eidolon gets to attack and treat the character as flat-footed for free, while you're summoning another headache for the bad guys to deal with. You get a free attack at flat-footed.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, you can only do it once, sure. Once per summon spell, sure. But nothing is lost. You have only gained 3 times. Well, 2 times if you count flat-footed as a bonus that's inherent to the attack. Either way, level 2. Anyway, I'm getting too caught up in this broken.
So pretty much, you could summon if you have summon creature or something from your spell list. Pop a creature. It's a magical free sneak attack for your Eidolon.
Yeah, and God forbid you have a feat that actually gives it sneak attack dice. With the 1d8 it gets naturally, would all of them get naturally? Ugh, that's better than any rogue, to my knowledge, at that level can even hope to do.
Yeah.
Also, I'm seeing people compare, and I love that the chat is talking about this. Yes, please compare druids to summoners. I think that's really the big thing here. Apparently, Scoutmaster of the Troop is saying that Wild Shape can eventually make you a colossal aberrant. Okay, I take that back. Druids are better. Okay. Magical Evolution. Your Eidolon evolves to cast their own spells. Your Eidolon can gain the cast a spell activity and learn 2 cantrips of their tradition, which they can cast as innate spells. Your Eidolon uses your spell DC. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so very, very simply, now your Eidolon isn't just a hurdy-dirty punch and dirty. It's like you. It's its own limited caster.
Yeah.
That can be very cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, because honestly, there's a lot of cantrips that's like chill touch. It's going to be within melee range already anyway.
Yeah, and the best thing is that the Eidolon levels up with you.
Mm-hmm.
To our knowledge right now, from what I can see, the melee damage that an Eidolon does not level up. However, cantrips do. So now if you get this ability, your Eidolon endgame is going to be covering a lot of bases in a very good way. Also, hey, Mr. Mahara, awesome to see you in the chat. You pretty people, you.
Mm-hmm. Next one is... Okay, how do you pronounce this?
I think it's Alacritus?
Yeah, Alacritus Evolution. Your Eidolon evolves to move more quickly on land. Your Eidolon gains a plus 10-foot status bonus to their speed. Why can't they just call it Eidolon moves fast or something like that?
Eidolon goes zoom.
They have to bust out the thesaurus.
Okay, so there's a reason for that, and this is important. It sucks, but it's important. It's a status bonus, which means I believe that it is a bonus that is inherent to their character sheet. But you can still be hasted, you can still have magical items, and these different sources will give different bonuses for speed. And as long as they're from a different source, they will stack. So you have a plus 10 natural bonus. However, you can, for some reason, give your Eidolon boots of speed, which I don't think you can do, but let's say you could. Now they could get a bonus 20, 30, 40 movement to their speed.
I want to make a note that Eidolons can't use magical items unless they specifically have the companion, is a companion magical item.
Yeah, very, very good point. And I'm sure more companion items will come out once this is official. Oh, but like the spells, for example,
Yeah.
there will still be spells that will give you enhanced movement speed, and that will all stack.
So basically, it gives them monk move speed ability.
Yeah, pretty much that.
Hmm.
Um, sorry, I'm just looking in at the Discord, and Reap Psyche put Summoner, Draconic Eidolon, and there's a dragon spitting swords. I love it. I love it so much, man. Thanks for putting that in the Discord. It's hilarious. I want that to be a reality. I just have to figure out how. Next up, the Amphibious Evolution. I'm going to save you all the fluff here and just say that they no longer get a -2 penalty for attacks underwater. They gain a swim speed equal to their land speed, or 25 feet, whichever's less. Alternatively, if your Eidolon is normally aquatic, which I don't think they are yet, well, maybe for Beast, they gain a land speed equal to their swim speed. That's kind of cool. So, like, let's say you're like, I want my Beast to be a shark. You could do that if you want. But sharks don't work on land. But now
Unless
they
they're
do.
King Shark from DC.
Very, very true. Or if you want to make your dragon Garchomp, and I'm saying that because I love Garchomp, and now this idea is making me giggle, you could have your Garchomp be both on land and sea.
Hmm. Oh my god, it could be a Gyarados too.
Oh, it totally could. Next up, Tandem Move.
Tandem Move. It's a one action ability, and you and your Eidolon move together with ease. You and your Eidolon each uses a single action to stride either of you that has the corresponding movement type can burrow, climb, fly, or swim instead of striding.
Oh, that's cool. So basically, for one action, and these are the tandem abilities that were mentioned in the Synergist one, Symbiosis. Either you or your Eidolon can burrow, climb, fly, or swim instead of walk. So if your Eidolon is a bird that can fly, so can you now.
That's not bad. Oh, I also want to point out, Reap Psyche said Street Sharks.
Street Sharks. I love Street Sharks.
Yeah.
Shark Turtle.
All right. The next one is Unarmed Evolution. Take it away, PJ.
Okay. The choose one of your Eidolons starting melee unarmed attacks.
Wait, I think
The
you're
attack
reading the
against
wrong thing.
unarmed. Oh, no, we read Tandem Move. It's
Okay,
unarmed
yeah.
evolution.
Oh,
Right?
okay, yeah.
Choose one of your Eidolons starting melee unarmed attacks. The attack gains one of the following traits, which you choose when you gain this feat: disarm, non-lethal, shove, trip, or versatile. If you choose versatile, also choose whether it is bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing. So that's nice. It creates more versatility for your combative Eidolon. And looking at all the other things at 4th level, if I'm being honest, I think Unarmed Evolution is really the best, strongest choice to keep your creature combative.
I want to say definitely. If I choose which type for Unarmed Evolution, definitely go Trip. Dude, Trip is such a great ability.
It is. Oh my god. And also, like, just imagine as a dragon, you can use your tail to like trip people.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of fun there. You want to do the climbing evolution?
All right, climbing evolution with the 6th level feat. Your Eidolon can climb with ease. Your Eidolon gains a climb speed equal to half their speed, or 25 feet, whichever is less. So they're really good at climbing.
Yeah, free. But I've been noticing there's a lot of movement enhancements here. Hulking evolution. Oh, I'm excited about this. Your Eidolon becomes large.
Ooh.
This doesn't change any other statistics for your Eidolon. Oh, boo. Because the special link you share, you can ride them. You can ride your Eidolon without getting in each other's way. So hulking evolution needs to be rechanged, I think, because size rules, this is going to sound so bad, size rules matter. And if all this grants me is a way to ride my Eidolon, I think that could just be what it says.
Yeah.
It just say Eidolon mount.
And
Because
for level 6 feet, come on. I would say give it at least a HP bonus or something.
Or if it does become large, make it as an action. You can enlarge it. without having to cast a spell. So then it gets the perks of being large, and it lasts for whatever the combat is, and it can shrink back down. Because like, what's the point of giving us the excitement of creating this large creature, and it's basically a horse?
Yeah, like Reap Psyche said, big Eidolon is big. That's essentially that.
But now it's like an inverse Ant-Man. It gets bigger without any of the benefits of getting bigger. It's still whatever it was, like it was a normal-sized person.
All right, the next one is a free action called Ostentatious Arrival. When you summon creatures or manifest your Eidolon, there always seems to be an explosion. Oh, if your next action you take is to manifest your Eidolon or cast a spell to cast a 3-action summoning spell, the summoned Eidolon or creature appears in an explosion of energy or other visually impressive display. This deals 1d4 fire damage per spell level or 1d4 damage per 2 levels you have when manifesting your Eidolon to all creatures except you within a 10-foot emulation around the Eidolon or summoned creature. If the Eidolon or summoned creature has acid, cold, electricity, sonic, or water trait, the damage is that type instead, or cold damage in the case of the water trait. So basically, you're kind of like in that movie when you're walking away from the explosion and you just don't look back.
Yeah,
that's like, what happens.
It's like in every single Power Rangers thing when they summon the Megazord, and for no reason at all, there's like explosions and downtown.
Yeah, Angel Grove.
But now here's the thing. I need to look over some rules, and I need chat to confirm this. If you guys know, please. That's a free action to have an AoE damaging effect when you summon a creature. Does this stack, because it's a free action, and it's not a flourish, I don't believe. It's not a flourish. Oh, but it's concentrate. Okay, that might be the saving grace. Because I was going to say, can you combine Ostentatious Arrival with the free sneak attack, because they're both when you summon a creature and they're both free actions. But considering this is concentrate, I think that's the balance. You cannot do both.
I just thought of this. It's kind of like when you summon a creature, it's like creating a magical landmine.
You're not wrong. It's exactly what it is. It's a 1d4 landmine with a 10-foot oh god. It's a 10-foot AoE. Okay, now here's a cool thing. So going back to Reap Psyche's vomiting sword dragon, it does look like the type of the creature can be elemental, which I would take into consideration could also be physical melee damage. So maybe you could have a sword dragon who spits breaths of swords. Maybe that's a workaround. Yeah, so this is cool. So basically, when you're summoning a creature, you're doing damage. You're still not losing a turn. It's not great damage, but it's free damage.
It's something. And also the fact that you summon a creature, you now also have a creature who's going to stay on the board to do your bidding.
Yeah, this is awesome for players, and it's a nightmare for GMs.
I have an idea. I now have an idea to build a character around this.
Oh my god, I'm going to hate it. I'm going to love it. I'm going to hate it. Summoner Shield Evolution. Your Eidolon uses their manifested form to protect you when you're nearby. After your Eidolon uses this 1 action cost action, you gain a +2 circumstance bonus to AC until the beginning of your next turn. This bonus applies only as long as you are in the Eidolon's reach. In most cases, this means your Eidolon is adjacent to you or sharing your space. This has no effect if you're not separately present, such as when using Synthesis. So, you cannot summon your Eidolon using Synthesis to become it and get a +2 AC bonus. Thank God, they already know. They're in dangerous territory. Oh, sorry. I looked at the first feat in the 8th level, and the L and the I kind of combined it, and I was combined. It's called Flickering Evolution. That's not what my brain read.
Oh!
I was very confused. Do you want to cover Flickering Evolution, Michael?
Sure. It's a 3-action ability. Flickering Evolution. Your Eidolon has gained the ability to make their ectoplasmic form briefly less substantial to avoid attacks while scouting ahead. Your Eidolon can switch from their normal form to a less substantial flickering form or quasi-tangible ectoplasm while in their flickering form. They gain resistance to all damage except force and negative equal to half your level. However, they can't use any of their strikes or actions requiring a fully physical form like grapple, shove, or trip. Snapping back to their normal form is easier than diffusing themselves into a flickering form. Your Eidolon can switch back to their normal form as a single action, which also has a concentrate trait. Which,
So
yeah.
this is interesting because I kind of got this vibe looking at it in the early descriptions. I feel like the devoted Phantom Eidolon is a tank build character.
Mhm.
If you want to summon a tank to help the party by sort of this magical means, then you want to choose the Phantom, which I both love and hate. I love having predetermined builds to help me go, yeah, I want to do that. I'll do that instead. I'll choose that choice. But then I feel like when it's built so clearly for one thing,
Mhm.
it then kind of hamstrings your flexibility with that build. And this further kind of proves that this is awesome because this ability at level 8 for all 3 actions makes your Eidolon a super tank. It gets a really nice DR, and it gets a lot of crowd control abilities. Grapple to stop the enemy from getting closer, shove to push people away, and of course trip. We all know how good
It says
trip
that
can
they
be.
can't use their strikes or actions requiring a fully physical form like grapple, shove, or trip.
Oh,
They can't.
thank you for correcting that. I misread that.
But I
But
want to say this though: it actually gives your Phantom Eidolon like recon like flexibility. Now they could become a reconnaissance, creature.
true, but they're still visible. They're not invisible. They just basically this entire thing,
Mm-hmm.
this entire ability is your creature, your Eidolon gets a resistance to all damage except force and negative equal to half your level.
Mm-hmm.
So at 8th level when you get it, what this means is for all 3 actions, your Eidolon now gets a DR4.
Well,
A DR4 all.
it even says in the ability, your Eidolon has gained the ability to make their ectoplasmic form less substantial to avoid attacks while scouting ahead. For this ability is to scout ahead.
Yeah, I think that's just fluff. Because if you look at it, there's nothing here that says they become invisible. They're quasi-tangible and they have a substantial flickering form. They basically work like ghosts. Ghosts are still visible. I mean, they have powers that let them become invisible. But I think when they say scouting ahead, the idea is they are a tank. They're moving ahead to create the forward line. And then they get a DR4. To a DR4 all except for negative and force, which is still great. Reap Psyche made a very good point. I would have to look over the notes on this. This might be a possibility. But he said, I'm sorry, Reap Psyche, I didn't mean to assume. They said that does this DR offset the damage that they would take when they do their big AoE defense ability, which I think they'd get at 7th level anyway, so it would be back-to-back.
Yeah.
I have to look at the rules as written for that ability, but if so, that would be the biggest solution to a glaring problem with this tank build is that you die in the process of tanking everyone much faster. So I don't know. I think you could make an argument that Flickering Evolution can help with stealth, but you wouldn't. I'll say this: there's nothing about the rules as written for this ability that would actually give any benefits or perks to stealthing. You can stealth, but I think that's a very different thing.
And like I said, this is still all in playtest, so I honestly believe out of the Magus, this is going to be the class that's going to be changed the most once it's finalized out. It's going to be like the Investigator, which is vastly different from the playtest version.
Yeah. Also, thank you, Reap Psyche, for confirming the pronouns he, him. I appreciate that. Greater Magical Evolution. If you took Magical Evolution before, basically allowed your Eidolon to be a caster. Now it increases that. They can choose 1 second level and 1 first level spell of your Eidolon's tradition. Your Eidolon can cast them each once per day as innate spells. At every even level after this, after you take this feat, your Eidolon can swap one of these innate spells for a new innate spell 2 or more levels lower than your highest spell slot. So this is cool because before, where it just gave you a cantrip, which is still very useful considering that cantrips automatically heighten, now your Eidolon that you summon actually gets their own, very small, granted, but their own spell list. It's kind of cool.
All right, the next one is Range Evolution. Your Eidolon has developed a ranged attack. Your Eidolon gains a ranged unarmed attack with a range increment of 30 feet that deals 1d6 damage and has a magical trait. When you select this feat, choose a damage type from acid, bludgeoning, cold, electricity, fire, negative, piercing, positive, or slashing. If your Eidolon is a celestial, fiend, or monitor with an alignment other than true neutral, you can instead choose a damage type in their alignment. For example, you could choose good or lawful. If you're lawful good, Angel Eidolon gain this attack.
I like that. That's fun because it gives your Eidolon now. First of all, it gives you every attack dice that you can get. You get a D8, a D6, and a D4. It also gives you every option available. I can hit really hard, or I can hit easier with my D4 damage, or I can hit you at range. And all the flavor. That Angel Eidolon is now shooting a holy laser beam. That dragon is now shooting another.
I like that.
Oh, cool. And it can be bludgeoning. Hey, Reap Psyche. Not only have we confirmed that sword dragon breath is a thing, but now they can spit hammers too. Look at that. I love this. I'm going to make the armory dragon. That's going to be fun.
All right, now we're in the 10th levels.
10th level stuff. We're halfway there. Yeah, since this, we'll have to call the episode about 30 minutes. We probably won't get to character creation today. So next week, come at us with your ideas because we're going to be getting closer and closer to racking up a total of 5. So I want those NPC ideas next week. 10th level, Boost Summons. Your ability to augment your Eidolon extends to also benefiting creatures that you summon. When you cast Boost Eidolon, I believe it's either I think it's a cantrip. In addition to targeting your Eidolon, you can also target any of your summoned creatures within 60 feet. That's insane. Okay, so let's say you're summoning creatures left and right. You have your Eidolon, you have at least 1 or 2 other summoning creatures out. They're coming out with explosions. They're granting sneak attack. And now you're like, hey, Eidolon, hey, my JoJo stand. Here's a buff. Hey, my army of pissed off rats with Uzis. The buff goes to you too. That's insane.
Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot.
I love it. I'm going to hate it if I ever GM and see it, but as a player, that's beautiful.
All right, the next one is Protective Bond, which is a reaction. The trigger is you and your Eidolon are both in an area of a damaging effect. You call upon the power of your bond to protect both of you from harm. If you and your Eidolon would take different amounts of damage from the area effect, you take the lower amount of damage instead of the greater amount of damage.
Okay, this is kind of cool because my earlier statement was that if you are caught in a fireball, since you and your Eidolon share HP, you're dying twice as fast. This sounds like, to me, I'm not sure if I'm reading this right, but it sounds like if you and your Eidolon take different damage, then you only hold on. I gotta read this over again. Okay. I think you only take the damage once, and you only take the damage that's lower of the 2 damages. However, this only matters if both of you are taking different numbers of damage. Well, I guess you could argue if you both take the same damage, then you take it only once. I don't know. I hope that's the solution, the fix to this horrendously terrifying taking damage twice problem.
Yeah, like I said, I honestly feel that taking damage twice thing, that needs to be tinkered with in the playtest.
Yeah. I mean, like, I get it. I absolutely understand why they're doing it, but it's so rough. It's so rough on a squishy guy like this.
Yeah. All right. Take the, let's see. Wait, I
Transpose?
forgot. Whose turn is it? Whose turn is it now?
I think you did Protective Bond.
Yeah. Okay, your turn.
All right, Transpose. 1 action. With a flash, you switch places with your Eidolon. You teleport to each other's position. You literally just whoop. You just flip. which is nice because
Yeah.
if, like, let's say you're fighting a big bad dragon and your dragon Eidolon is fighting him, and then he, gets up and flies to the other side of the map, you don't want to have to worry about your movement economy as you try to switch places. Now it's one action, instant transmission, blip. It's nice. I don't know if
It
it's
can be
better than
useful. It's
boost
honestly
summons.
if it's for people who know how to run the battlefield.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah.
another way is have your Eidolon take the high ground and then switch.
Also true, because that's also great. You can switch to get to a safe location. Let's see here. Scoutmaster of the Troop talking about the protective bond. Only AoE effects. You take both damages, but both are the lower number. All right, that I can see where you're thinking there. I think my problem was I saw this as a potential to loophole the issue of dying twice as fast. I think what Scoutmaster of the Troop is saying is that literally both people still take damage, but they take whatever is the lower of the damage they both take. So it's still a problem.
All right, we're now in the 12th level feat, Conduit Focus. You have to have Conduit Spells first as the prerequisite. Your focus spell recovers faster. If you spend at least 2 focus points since the last time you've refocused, you recover 2 focus points when you refocus instead of 1.
Awesome.
Not bad.
It's great if you like focus powers, and I like focus powers, but yeah, I mean, it depends, because my theory is if you have 10 minutes to get 1 point, you have 20 minutes to get 2.
Yeah.
This
is for players who have GMs who just run anything completely according to the rules, like raw.
Yeah. Or just like, let's say you're dungeon diving, and the dungeons kind of exist within their own microcosm of time. So if you have all the time in the world, who's to say you can't take a 30-minute rest or an hour rest and just recover a little bit of HP and all your focus points?
We got a Scoutmaster Troop saying, no, I think if you fail a dex save but your Eidolon saves, you both take the save damage, so it mitigates the damage a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's actually a very solid point that you make Scoutmaster of the Troop. So really the only time the AoE effect, when that protective bond would really matter, is if you both roll a save, which is nice because in theory, it gives you 2 attempts for the price of 1 to save against an ability and take half or less damage. The rules as written isn't always automatically half. Now it depends on your level of success versus level of failure to the spell or source of damage. Someone mentioned this. I think it was Reap Psyche mentioned. If you are going with the tanky Phantom build and they're using all their DR abilities, those DR abilities could also come into play. I mean, eventually you're going to be taking, I think, at least 1 or 2 damage. That's not too bad, but still doesn't quite solve the problem of we're dying twice as fast.
All right, PJ, take Summoner's Call.
Summoner's Call, reaction. You or your Eidolon takes damage. Requirement, your Eidolon is manifested and is more than 5 feet away from you. Bottom line here, your Eidolon teleports from their previous location to an open space adjacent to you.
Movement. It's another movement ability.
Yeah, it's more movement, and I guess it's nice if you're like, oh, that hurt, get back here. But I don't know. Not very exciting that it's a whole feat you have to burn to get it.
The next one is Transmogrify. You learn how to transmogrify your Eidolon in various ways to suit the circumstances of each day. Each day during your daily preparations, choose 1 evolution feat of 6th level or lower. Your Eidolon gains that feat until the next daily preparations. Ooh, that's actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which means you don't even have to have those feats. You could just decide, hey, you know what? You get this feat for the day. That's actually really cool.
That's really cool. Now, so what's cool about this is we've talked about how the buttload of movement evolution feats there are. So maybe getting 1 isn't that great, but let's say you're level 10 into the campaign and now all of a sudden you're in a very different place and your Eidolon has to have a different type of movement. Having this kind of flexibility is gorgeous, especially when you haven't wasted any feats on those movement feats back when you could be getting something much better.
Oh my god, I just realized You can also wait. Can you take the the exploding landmine summon ability?
No, I
Ah,
believe sorry, no, I don't want to cut the sales out, but I believe this is only evolution feats. So any feats
okay.
with the word evolution in it.
Because I was gonna say
Um,
that would be hilarious.
that would be funny. Like, oh man, yesterday you couldn't explode. You couldn't explode now, boy.
Yeah. All right, we're in level 14 feats now. Take away with resilient evolution.
Resilience evolution. Your your Eidolon gains resistance to physical damage equal to their Constitution modifier. So now, by taking this feat, you have a DR physical their Constitution modifier all the time. You can stack this with the tank build, and now
I like
24/7
that.
you're resisting physical damage.
I like that.
It's a really good if you want to play someone who is commanding the tank, kind of like Warlocks in World of Warcraft, how Warlocks have a tank pet. This is that. You're commanding your tank pet to go out and tank even harder now. I like this.
Yeah, and also solve some stuff with the whole you're dying twice as fast.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, this next one is really you're solving that a little more. The
The next
Spell
one,
Guard evolution.
yep. The
I'm
next
sorry,
one is
go ahead.
Spellguard Evolution. Your Eidolon evolves to protect themselves from spells. They gain a +1 status bonus to all saving throws against magic. That's
So I like
yeah.
this is tricky. I'm sorry to cut you off because I was just looking at
No,
this
no
and I
problem.
kind of had this big exclamation point over my head. It sounds like it's just a +1. And at 14th level, that sucks. However, this is a +1 to all saving throws. And as a summoner, you also get the benefit of that. Because remember, you share saves, you share damage to whatever degree. So basically, you and your Eidolon, somehow, by some loophole, are going to get a +1 to all saves against magic.
That's really good. That's actually really good.
It's sneaky because it looks like you get a +1 and it looks boring as hell. But when you think about it, and this is why this is tricky, it kind of gives two different characters a massive caveat
Yeah,
to a lot of things.
honestly, it's like it sounds more like two feats in one. It not only affects you, it affects your Eidolon as well.
And it's what's what I'm looking for? It's an evolution. Oh, but you have to be an evolution to 6th level or lower, so you cannot transmogrify later. Darn. Okay, so towering evolution. Something dumb gets dumber. Your Eidolon becomes huge. I mean, they get an attack increase of 10 feet, but they don't get damage, they don't get armor, they don't get nothing. Now they're a pain in the ass to put on the map. And the only benefit is their reach is now 10 feet, which by logic it should have been at large.
Yeah.
I
This is
don't.
dumb. This is dumb. Come on,
like-
Paizo. This is dumb.
Dear Paizo, I love you. Please retool hulking and towering evolution. If for nothing else, just make the damage increase flat, like you do with rage.
Yeah.
Rage used to be a strength boost, now it's just a damage boost. Do that with these.
Yeah.
And instead of making it be happening all the time, make it one action for 1 minute. The creature becomes stupid big, and it gets +4 to hit and +2 to armor class. It's not that hard.
Yeah, it becomes a kaiju temporarily.
Yeah. Maynard, dear Paizo, I love you. This is dumb. Yeah, that's kind of my love letter to them.
All right, we're now in the 16th level feats. Effortless Concentration is a free action. The trigger is your turn begins. That's pretty easy. You maintain a spell with hardly a thought. You immediately gain the effects of sustain a spell action, allowing you to extend the duration of one of your active spells.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's nice.
Bad.
It's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. This basically lets you because turn economy is already so dicey for a summoner. This lets you maintain a spell for free as opposed to using one action to maintain that spell.
Yeah, so basically you could just like keep a boost up, keep a shield up or something.
Yeah. Wing and Evolution. Your Eidolon gets a fly speed equal to their land speed. This is cool.
Flying is always good.
Flying is always good, especially if you have just been loading down this poor Eidolon with a whole buttload of movement abilities like swim, burrow, climb. I mean, I guess all that kind of becomes moot when you get fly.
Reef Psyche is asking, do Draconic Eidolons already have a fly speed, or do they need this to fly? I believe they need this to fly.
They might. Let me confirm very quickly, because they probably do need this to fly. Looking at the breakdown of the dragon. Yep. Speed, 25 feet on land. So in order for their wings to magically carry them, you'd probably need this. You could probably give them wings, because it says here they have wings to attack for bludgeoning damage, but I don't think that they have the ability to heft their bodies yet.
Yeah. Anyway, now finally in the 18th level feats, Conduit Wellspring. The power between you and Eidolon replenishes your focus. If you spend at least 3 focus points since the last time you refocus, you recover 3 focus points when you refocus instead of 1.
I mean, not bad. 3 for the price of 1. You can only have a maximum of 3. 3 for 10 minutes. Not bad. But I feel like, and you would be able to know this by 18th level, this really only is useful if you feel like your DM loves to try and limit downtime by attack or by inciting event. If it's like, you only have 10 minutes before the giant boulder kills you all, then you can be like, all I need. Okay, all my focus points are back. So that's cool. Otherwise, it's a little unnecessary.
Oh, Maynard says, like a Gen 1 Charizard, it got wings but it can't fly.
Exactly. Well, I think it can. Wait, can Gen 1 Charizard use the fly HM?
I
thought
think
it could.
so. I thought it could.
You know, it had wings, but it wasn't a dragon, which is stupid. It should have been a dragon. All right, so true transmogrification. Oh, it could only do it in yellow after. Thank you for the correction, Maynard. Did not know that. True transmogrification. Prerequisites, the transmogrify feat, mentioned I think at level 10, maybe 14. Each day during your daily preparations, when you apply your evolution feat from Transmogrify, you can also swap out any number of other evolution feats you have, each for a different evolution feat of the same level or lower. These swaps last until your next day preparations. So every day, this creature is being completely remade, like some weird Lego toy.
So I believe this allows you to actually have that explosion summon now. I think the evolution, right?
No, I think the explosion is a summoning feat, not an evolution feat.
You're right. I think you're right. Yeah.
I mean, I would love it to be the case because that would be awesome.
Yeah, it's a concentrate, manipulate, metamagic, and summoner.
Yeah, and these are all related to feats that are specifically for the evolution of your Eidolon, which actually have the evolution feat. So if you got the large evolution, you can get rid of it because it's awful. The last one for level 18 sounds exciting, but confusing. So I'm really curious to read this. Michael, do you want to cover it?
Sure. See, it's true Eidolon. You can transform yourself to match your Eidolon. When you manifest your Eidolon, in addition to their normal manifestation, you can call upon their powers to transform yourself into an exact duplicate of your Eidolon until your Eidolon becomes unsummoned. You can't use this if you manifest your Eidolon in an unusual way, such as with the synthesis feat. While a duplicate of your Eidolon, you can use your Eidolon stats other than your mental ability modifiers, including their evolutions. You can't cast spells unless they're spells your Eidolon can cast, activate, or benefit from magic items that normally benefit you and not your Eidolon, or use other actions your Eidolon can't normally perform. Any spells you cast with a limited number of uses count against your Eidolon's uses. You can manifest your Eidolon again to end this effect and return to your normal form. Well, basically,
Yeah. So
you just basically turn yourself into an Eidolon. I mean, this would be good if the hulking evolution, and the towering evolution were not dumb.
yeah, I'll give you that. If the large and huge evolutions were,
Not
actually
dumb.
good, yeah, not dumb, then that'd be. I mean, granted, that would be broken as heck at level 18 to have two huge dragons suddenly with. But the thing is that so the twin Eidolon's kind of a weird ability. Basically, it lets you turn into your Eidolon. Now your two Eidolons are the same. However, you still have your intelligence stats and the physical stats of the Eidolon, and you can tell they're trying so hard not to make this the Guyver uh, synergist from First Ed. You cannot cast any of your spells. You cannot benefit from any magical items you're carrying, and you can only cast spells that your Eidolon can cast if you took the magical feats.
Mm-hmm.
So, effectively speaking, what this feat does is it allows you to fight like your Eidolon and leave your Eidolon out.
Reaped Psyche does make a good point. So double the amount of those breath attacks.
Yeah, that was going to be my exact thing. I feel like if you have the Dragon Eidolon,
Mm-hmm.
Twin Eidolon is stupid amazing. If you have literally any other Eidolon, well, or maybe the Beast Eidolon, if you have the attack variants, which are the Beast and the Dragon, they are mainly focused on combat attacking, then this is great. If you have the Angel or the Phantom, this falls short because having two tanks that share HP that are tanking the front line, that is begging to die and begging to die fast.
Yeah. Like I said, honestly, if the hulking and towering evolutions were actually decent, this would be a really, really good ability.
Yeah, and Maynard's saying this is probably exactly why things like the large and huge evolutions don't get any bonus damage and armor and stuff because, yeah, coming out the gate, Twin Eidolon, if you had twin huge dragons running around with a +6 to hit, a +6 to damage, not to mention they're already impressive damage buffs from Eidolon weapon specialization. That would get disgusting. That would get OP.
PJ, let me ask you this: would you be
Mhm.
willing to get rid of this feat if the hulking and towering feats were better, or would you rather have this feat but no towering or hulking evolutions?
Oof, that's tough. If I had to like make my wish list, I think the large evolution should be the only evolution you get. I don't believe you should get huge. I believe large evolutions should come with a very small but palpable bonus to AC and damage. And I believe that if you do that, you could, in theory, balance this out so you can still have Twin Eidolon and still have two powerful characters.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, because that's still... I mean, you still share actions, so in theory, you'd only be doing one Dragon Breath and one Claw Swipe. You
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to do two Dragon Breaths because you don't have the action economy for that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we got Reef Psyche saying, wait, if both of you have that crazy DR that Phantom has, you're absorbing the entire party's damage for each other, you're reducing the damage by half and then reducing that by your Phantom's DR.
Ooh, maybe. Maybe.
Yeah, and Maynard goes, does the shared damage reduce the damage to lower the two benefit from the previous feat thing still go into effect because they're like both Eidolons?
I would imagine, because it does say that you do share the abilities of the Eidolon, and you can only cast spells the Eidolon would know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, let me see
Yeah,
here.
this is confusing. This is really confusing.
Because, I think here's the problem with this ability.
Mm-hmm.
This ability is either very powerful, which it could easily be with a bit better wording, or kind of crap.
Mm.
Because if you think about it, no matter what you do, you can only do 3 actions around, and the summoner still holds true to that. They might be able to squeak out a 4th one with their shared action, but it's only a 1-action that they can share. So you might be able to get away with doing something grandiose like a Dragon's Breath and a Claw. But then again, so could your Eidolon by themselves. without having to use the one action share an action ability you get at first level. So I don't know. Either this is overpowered or this is woefully underpowered.
But you know what? Let's we could spend all day on this, but we only have a limited amount of time. Let's move on to 20th level feats with the Eidolon's avatar, and I believe it's your turn.
All right. Prerequisites: the Eidolon from a plane other than the material plane. So the tragedy here is that the beast Eidolon cannot take this ability. Kind of sucks. Your complete connection to your Eidolon and your Eidolon's growth alongside you into a being of great power grants you special privileges from another plane. Once per day, you can cast Plane Shift as an innate spell of your Eidolon's tradition, but only to travel to the plane of your Eidolon. When you cast it in this way, its casting time is 1 minute, as opposed to, I think it's like 10. Your link to your Eidolon is a sufficient tuning fork for the spell, and you appear exactly where you want to be. If you're on your Eidolon's home plane due to the spell, you can return to the point you left when you cast it by spending a single action, which has the concentration trait and the trait matching your Eidolon's tradition. If you conduct the commune ritual to contact entities from your Eidolon's plane that are friendly to your Eidolon, you don't have to pay any cost, and you automatically get a critical success.
I want to say okay. It's not the greatest, but it's an okay.
I'll say this for a level.
Not for a capstone.
Yeah, for a level 20 feet, it's a little disappointing.
Yeah.
It's good for like level 10 or 15. Mostly it's free travel and free communication across the plane.
This is actually good for a level 16 feat.
I'll take that. Basically, this is a good narrative feat. If you're like, I want to change or involve myself in the story, or I want to get the heck out of a problem, I want to problem solve, this is a good feat for problem solving and narrative. It's not great for other stuff.
All right, the next one is Eternal Boost. Your link with your Eidolon is so intense that you can always boost your Eidolon. You're permanently quickened. Ooh. You could use your extra action only to cast Boost Eidolon or Reinforce Eidolon. While in exploration mode, you can declare that you're also continuing casting Boost Eidolon or Reinforce Eidolon even while using different exploration activity. If you do, even before your first turn in combat encounter, that cantrip is active as if you had cast it on your previous turn. Now, this is better. This is a lot better.
Winner, get this feat a chicken dinner. This is insane. You get
You're quickened.
You're quickened. Not only... Yeah, but here's the thing. You're permanently quickened. What that's really saying is you're permanently casting either Boost or Reinforce Eidolon, even when you would be doing anything else. And even when you start combat, it's already active. Are you kidding me? That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, this is insane. This means that no matter what, your Eidolon or anything else you summon by proxy of previous feats is always buffed.
Mm-hmm.
God.
So, yeah, definitely go with Boost, Eternal Boost over Eidolon's Avatar. Even though Eidolon's Avatar sounds good, Eternal Boost is where it's at.
I have to salute the sheer brilliance of Paizo for this bait and switch that they've done here. Like, all right, level 20. What feat do you want? Do you want to be able to teleport? Or do you want God mode for your pet? Oh, you got me. You got me, you tricky bastards. You got me. Oh, my God. That's amazing.
All right. You know what? Now let's learn what Boost Eidolon actually is with the Conduit Spells, which are the focus spells for the Summoner.
That's right. Now, remember, these are Conduit cantrips, not Conduit Spells.
Oh, Conduit cantrips, yeah.
Oh, no, I'm only saying that for at least Boost Eidolon, because Boost Eidolon does not require any focus points, but it is a focus cantrip. So, do you want me to read it, or do you want to read it?
Oh, well, since I read Eternal Boost, I think you should read Boost Eidolon.
Okay, I'll read Boost Eidolon. Also, someone asked in the chat, let's see, it was Reap Psyche. If you use Twin Eidolon, does that mean you're always buffed too? No. And the reason for that specifically and explicitly states that when you turn into your Eidolon, you cannot cast any spells unless there are spells your Eidolon knows, which they do not know your focused cantrips, because those are things only you have. So when you turn into an Eidolon, you are no longer able to constantly buff your Eidolon. Kind of an interesting wording, but I'm glad that they do that.
Yeah.
So let's see what Boost Eidolon does. It is a one-action cantrip, verbal, up to 100 feet, so the very end of your leash. Only targets your Eidolon for 1 round. Your Eidolon gains a +2 bonus to damage rolls. If your Eidolon strikes deal more than 1 weapon damage die, that bonus is increased to 2 per damage die to a maximum of 8.
Ooh.
So let's go back to level 20, shall we?
Your voice kind of cracked there a little bit, PJ.
Oh no, it's horribly cracking because I want to explain some math to y'all really quick. At level 20, with whatever dice your monster's throwing out, which I don't know if it upgrades or not, it doesn't say, but I'm sure there are weapons that you can give them that will up that damage die.
Or just have your GM homebrew something.
Which I'll do. Why not? Because I hate myself. So at level 20, your Eidolon is doing, let's say, 4d8 a strike, by the way. 4d8 a strike, plus their strength, which is about a 3, unless those stats get to rise up 2. So it's 4d8 plus 3. At this point, you're already a master, if not a legendary, in unarmed strike. So it's 4d6 plus 3, plus about 6 or 8. So let's just say that's 4d6 plus 11. Plus another 8. That's 4d8 plus 19. A strike, which can be done, in some cases, 2 to 3 times a round.
Yeah.
And so the buff lasts 1 round. However, it is 1 action to cast, and if you're level 20, it's basically always on.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And you technically have 4 actions because you're a summoner.
Oh no. Oh, this just got so much worse.
Yeah.
There's the feat that lets you buff other summoned creatures as well whenever you buff your Eidolon.
Yeah.
Your summoned creatures are doing +8 damage as well.
And at level 20, when you summon creatures, you don't summon 1 creature. You're summoning a legion of creatures.
You're either summoning a legion of tiny creatures, which is horrifying, or you're summoning basically a full devil. So, what?
Yeah, you can have your Eidolon and that devil do a tag team attack, WWE style, Doomsday Device.
Oh, 3D through the table, nothing but belts. Oh my god! And that's a cantrip you get at level 1.
Yeah.
This is a game changer at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, no, definitely. If anything, if you're playing Summoner, you want to get this cantrip ASAP.
Ugh. Oh god. Okay. Now I see why they're trying to kill you twice as fast. Cause screw you. That's why.
I want to play a Summoner. I want to play a Summoner in your game now.
Well, actually, it's funny you mentioned that because we're going to be having the entire month of Halloween games coming, where every episode is going to be a different cosmic horror, probably set in a similar or the same setting. Aren't you playing a Summoner in the Halloween game?
I think I am.
I think you should. You'll only be a level 2 Summoner, but...
Yeah, I should take Boost Eidolon then.
Do it. I'm gonna hate it, but do it. Okay, so before I lose myself to my own epiphany, please continue with Evolution Surge.
All right, Evolution Surge is a Focus 1 ability. It takes 2 actions to cast, Somatic and Verbal, range of 100 feet, targets your Eidolon, duration of a minute. You flood your Eidolon with power, creating a temporary evolution to your Eidolon's capabilities. Choose one of the following effects. Oh my god. Boost Eidolon and Evolution Surge. Oh. Your Eidolon gains low light vision and dark vision. Your Eidolon gains scent as a imprecise sense out to 30 feet. Your Eidolon can breathe underwater and gains a swim speed equal to your land speed or 30 feet. Not that bad. And it's also amphibious. And your Eidolon gains a 20-foot status bonus to their speed. Now that's good. And then
Yeah.
when you heighten it at level 3, you can add the following to the list of effects you could choose. Your Eidolon becomes large instead of their previous size. Yeah, just take this instead of the other feat.
Yeah, let me give you the spoiler alert. All these kind of suck. Only phrases. All these kind of suck. However, it is better to have these for 1 minute than to take a feat that gives it to you permanently in lieu of actual abilities that will help you in and out of combat. So you can just for one focus point for 1 minute get an entire feat that they're offering. This is better. This saves you a headache.
And also you could ride your Eidolon if you want. Your Eidolon also gains a climb speed equal to your land speed. If you heighten it to 5th level, let's see, you could add what is it? 1 second. Downside of PDFs. Your Eidolon becomes huge instead of their previous size. Yeah. And your Eidolon gains a fly speed equal to their speed.
Yeah, but just like the feat, the huge and large increase does not give any other benefits except you can ride it, or it increases its range of attack by 10 feet.
Yeah. It's not bad. This is not bad. It's not the greatest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, honestly, the only ones that's viable is the increasing your speed or your fly speed.
Yeah. And the one thing to keep in mind is that this is flexible. Instead of having to take a feat to permanently give you an option that you may never, ever use, you can now spend a focus point, which you'll get after 10 minutes of just thinking about life, to get that feat for free for a minute. So you're like, oh, man, I really wish that my Eidolon could climb up that mountain really fast. Oh, wait, climb up that mountain really fast. Yeah. For a point. This is weird. It's meh, but what this ability does, by the way, this ability is for free. You get this.
Yeah.
But what this does is it makes like 10 feats obsolete, at least 10, which is interesting, but also kind of
It's basically like that one feat that you could choose which abilities, your evolution abilities, your Eidolon gets each day. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and Maynard makes a very great point. It's still not as good as the buff Eidolon cantrip. Cantrip. Yeah. Ugh. Speaking of cantrips, here's the other cantrip, the Reinforce Eidolon. Still one action, verbal, 100 feet, your Eidolon for 1 round. It's the exact same thing as the boost. Let's see what this one does. Your Eidolon gains a +1 stat bonus to AC and saving throws, plus resistance to all damage equal to half the spell's level. Your Eidolon can benefit from either boost or reinforce, but not both. Thank God.
Makes sense.
If you cast one of them during the other's duration, the newer spell replaces the older spell because that would get stupid. So basically, this is great if you want to super reinforce your occult tank summon. So if you're like, okay, we don't need more damage. We have a barbarian and we have a magus or whatever. We have damage galore, but we are missing a tank real bad. Your summon is now the tank. So you are kind of the extension of this tank evolution, this customizable tank. And this cantrip allows you to further tank your tank. +1 to AC, all saving throws, and it gets resistance to all damage equal to half the spell's level. So, if you are level 20, this will give them a DR 10 all. Now, I don't believe DR stacks. However, you now, depending on your build, have 3 to 4 different variations of damage resistance that you can employ on a whim. Yeah, sorry, Reeves. It's not the D&D 5e resistance where it's straight up half damage. Mm-hmm. This is the Pathfinder resistance where they give you a set number, which I feel is superior in the sense that if they don't do above your damage resistance, they're doing no damage. Whereas resistance in 5e, you're guaranteed to take something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and thank God you can't combine Boost Eidolon and Reinforce Eidolon. That
would be sick. That would be insanely sick.
Oh, it'd be so broken. Thank God. Thank you, Paizo. Thank you. As a GM, I thank you.
All right. The next one we have is Unfettered Eidolon. Focus 1. Cast is a 2-action casting spell, somatic and verbal, range of 100 feet, targets your Eidolon, and duration is 1 minute. You loosen the link between yourself and your Eidolon, allowing them to travel further from you for a short period of time. While this spell is active, your Eidolon can travel an unlimited distance away from you. When the spell ends, if your Eidolon is more than 100 feet away, they unmanifest. Yeah.
Yeah, I have weird feelings about this one, and I'm sure in the chat you might have feelings too. So there's a leash on your Eidolon, 100 feet. If you go beyond 100 feet, the link severs, the Eidolon goes back to the plane, which you can just resummon again for like 1 to 3 actions that take about 6 seconds. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But you still have that leash, right? This focus spell, it's not a cantrip. You actually have to burn a focus point to do this. Makes it go an unlimited number of feet. However, they have to return to you by 1 minute or else they're gone. And then you have to resummon them again. I honestly, I feel like it's a waste. I feel like it's a waste of a focus point.
Yeah, Reap Psyche said it best. Far Eidolon goes far.
Yeah, I think the only way to make this focus point worth spending, because you only get 3 a day at end game, and they have to get back on a rest. Granted, a much smaller rest, is that at the end of the 1 minute, it automatically teleports back to you.
Yeah.
I think that makes that point
or
worth
maybe
it.
Because, like I said, this is definitely a focus spell that is for scouting. It's for scouting.
Absolutely is for scouting.
So I would say maybe make the Eidolon invisible during this brief 1 minute period of time, because you can actually see through it, but it can't interact with anything.
See, I like that. I like the invisibility thing, and I think what can make it fair is if you make the Eidolon invisible, but incapable of any actions other than to observe and report. So if you are taking 1 action to buff your Eidolon, to have this unfettered tether, you're taking 1 action to see through it at all times. Then basically you can take whatever 1 action or infinite out of combat actions to move this guy wherever you want invisible.
Maynard also made a good suggestion, make it so it could pass through walls and stuff.
That could also help. Absolutely could help. However, it's still none of the abilities in this playtest material gives it the ability to do that, sadly. There might be a spell as a summoner that you can cast on your Eidolon, like I cast Incorporeal. Pass wall. And now it can. But you can only juggle so many actions and so many spells. And I think some of these are concentration traits, which means you can't do more than 1 concentration spell at a time. So I don't know. I think... It's not a concentration spell. Unfettered Eidolon is not concentration.
Nope.
Okay.
But I was going to say, to me, it seems like all these, the conduit spells, the focus spells for the summoner, the regular ones kind of suck. It's the cantrips you want. It's the cantrips you want. Yeah,
and what's more insane is that they are cantrips and can be done all the time
all day, every day.
All day, every day. And it's funny to me how Evolution Surge, which granted, it for about 1 minute, it makes 10 feats completely useless, costs a point. I can kind of see how you'd want to change them on the fly. If I was going to argue for balancing and really piss off some people watching this, I would make Boost Eidolon a focus spell, and I would make Evolution Surge the cantrip. Now, granted, cantrip means this thing is changing constantly on the fly. That can get broken. But it's not doing +8 damage at level 20. I'm sorry, it's not doing 4d8 plus 19 damage a swing on a cantrip.
Honestly, I think this is what I feel. It's the fact that you have your Eidolon and the Boost Eidolon feat, Boost Eidolon focus spell. That's your meat and potatoes. That's why you're playing a summoner.
I see what you're getting at. So, like, since this is the core of your entire gameplay, you don't want it to be limited. You want it to be reliable. I respect that. However, it is still broken AF. It is like, yeah, that makes total sense, but also, oof. Ooh, rough.
Oh, Maynard says, I feel some of these things they forgot that familiars are also a thing, and that you're like a summoner. If you wanted to scout with a tiny creature, you could probably do that without spending a feat on it.
Possibly. Now,
Mm,
I haven't looked into the gigantic lexicon of magic that they've been growing steadily, which is awesome, thank God, and will probably grow when Secrets of Magic is released in 2021. But it looks like familiars largely are a feat you have to take to get. But they can also be an ancestry feat. Like there is a type of gnome that gets a familiar for being that type of gnome. So if you are a gnome summoner, you now have at all times a familiar and an Eidolon, and then can summon more monsters.
yeah.
There's a workaround. It takes a lot of effort. I don't know how you want to balance that if it's worth it. But
But you know
hey, if you
what?
want
You know
it,
what?
you
We'll
can get
see
it.
it. We'll see how the summoner goes in our one shot. Because you know what? I'm just gonna say it here right now. Yeah, I'm gonna be playing a summoner. Definite.
Yeah. Now it's only a level 2 summoner,
Yeah.
as he's trapped in the nightmare of Daltonshire. But
I think I still get boosts. I think I still get boosts. Eidolon, right? At level 2.
oh, you get it at level 1. It comes with the
Yeah.
class.
Yeah, I was gonna say
But
that.
so looking at the stats, no matter what creature you pick, no matter what summon at level 2, it's going to be doing 1d8 plus 5 damage.
Let me ask chat. Which of the Eidolons do you guys want to see me play with?
Oh yeah, really fast. And then we're going to have to leave for the day because
Yeah.
we're way past our time.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, what do you want to see? So we have the Angel doing Holy Goodness.
Mhm.
Actually, the Angel one might even give you more damage per swing.
Mhm.
We have the Dutiful Phantom, super tank, super spoopy, great for Halloween. The Beast, the Barbarian of the Summoning World, and the Dragon, who just looks at you and flips you the bird and goes, "Did you forget I was a dragon?" Cause breath weapon. So what do you guys think? Put it in the chat really fast, and maybe our man
Mhm.
Michael will make that thing.
Yep.
Maynard, I'm boring. I'm voting dragon. Can't even hate, really. It's such a good creature.
Reap Psyche is saying true, but familiars, as far as I can remember, have terrible repercussions if they get killed, don't they? Stat penalties and 24 hours to resummon, etc.
24 hours resummon, yes. Stat penalties, I don't know if they. I'll check because I've looked in the familiars. If there is a stat penalty, it is small and it is not long. Because if
We
you're going
have
to take. Oh, yeah?
we have Scoutmaster saying I like the Phantom, so much fluff. Reap Psyche saying Phantom because Eldritch Horror.
Yeah, I think honestly the Phantom would do very, very well in the kind of Halloween setting. And plus, you can make them a tank. So if
Yeah.
one of the other players, or even some of our guest players, we may be having a few guest players join us. If they don't make tanks, now you have this spoopy ghost who is a tank for everyone.
Maynard saying I know you get like bummed out. I'm guessing that's referring to if your familiar dies, you get bummed. Yeah.
I can see that, yeah. Oh, Darmoon80. Awesome to talk to you, Darmoon80. I think this is the first time I've seen your name pop up in
Hey.
chat.
What's
Awesome,
up,
welcome.
Darmoon? It's also
Darmoon.
saying Phantom.
Yes, saying Phantom. Ooh, Malice1974 has an idea with the Angel. I want to see what that idea was, Malice. I'm looking through the chat right now, see if I can find it. I can't find it. Oh, well.
Oh yeah, Maynard's
If
saying
someone
yeah.
can reiterate.
Yeah, Maynard's going. Yeah, you get mechanically like you get a +2 to being bummed out.
I love that. How sad are you? I'm plus bonuses. I'm a 20 sad. But there's more emotional things. Pathfinder's really cool. They've actually made both mental and emotional status effects that have mechanical effects. So that's really cool. And Malice, yeah, I love angels personally. If you couldn't tell from my heavy, religious pantheon that I've built for this world, I love angels. So angels can be tanks, but not as tanky as the ghosts, it looks like. But they're really, I think, at level 1, they're going to be doing more damage than anyone else because I think at level 1 they get the Hallowed Strike, which gives them the +1 damage to everything that is evil or something else. Can't remember.
Oh, and Malice is going just the fact that it's All Hallows Eve and you're playing an angelic type.
True. Very, very true. All right. So it looks like most of the chat is thinking Phantom. We get a really good argument for Angel, and of course, Dragon, because dragons are swole AF. What are you feeling, Michael? What do you think your summon may be with the summoner?
I think I'm going to go with Phantom.
Mm-hmm.
Also because I'm a huge... Okay, I like the Lovecraft lore. I don't like what it used to represent.
I see. Yeah, I know exactly what
I
you
just
mean.
want to say that. And also, if you are not watching it, even though they're not sponsoring us, watch Lovecraft Country. It's great.
Absolutely. And I think that's something that needs to be said and also important to reiterate is that Lovecraft Country kind of takes the problems out of H.P. Lovecraft, the obvious racism and anti-Semitism, and removes it, but keeps what we actually loved about the show, about his world. And my intent with what we're doing is to bring that same flavor of cosmic horror and sanity and present it where these things are also never an issue. Because bottom line, the racism and anti-Semitism never added anything. So it's not hard to tell these awesome, scary stories with, by the way, with cosmic horror gods that we have invented or that I've invented for the world by themselves. They are their own entities. They have their own rules. So don't go in there expecting to see
Yeah,
like
you and
Narletta
me, PJ, we're gonna work a little bit on this. At least for on my character side of things, when it comes to the cosmic horror, I have some
Yeah,
ideas.
yeah. Shoot me some of those ideas because I've already talked to Sydney and I've talked to a bunch of other people, well, the players about some of their stuff. So if you want to be like, I wanna get in the nitty gritty, shoot me a message. And that being said, I think we're gonna have to call this episode about the table today.
Yeah,
Like, we're have to call it now.
yeah,
Um,
we're nearing 3 hours. Talking about Eidolons is a lot when it comes to the summoner. We knew this going in. We knew this going in.
Yeah, that's why I was like, we have to make these two separate episodes. I'm glad we did because there's so much cool stuff to talk about. With that being said, thank you so much for joining us, for pulling up your chair and number crunching some insane summoner stuff. Hopefully, when this comes out in 2021, they will fix the feats that are kind of not great and hopefully balance things that are insanely overpowered.
Keep the boost ability, keep the boost ability.
I mean, yeah. Anyway, we're going to do a quick exit introduction. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. We can't wait to see you Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we'll see you here, same Nat time, same Nat station for At the Table next week. Michael Powell, tell them who you are and where they can find you on that sweet, sweet
Well,
internet.
I am Michael Powell. You can find me all over the internet on my social medias, which are all at Mr. Kapow. That's MrKapao. Or my Facebook page, which is kind of my hub. That's facebook.com/Michael Powell does stuff because I do a lot of stuff. I also have a new YouTube channel, which is called Fantastic Tales of Adventure, where I'm going to post up a lot of my TTRPG stuff. I got some RPG horror stories, D&D stories already videos up. That's pretty fun to watch. And yeah. Oh, and I also host Toyzilla Live, which is a toy nostalgia show on Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Pacific Standard Time, and we talk about toys, nostalgia, and also on Saturday I will be interviewing Chuck Huber, a voice actor.
Awesome.
He does the voice of Hiei from Yu Yu Hakusho, and also I believe Emperor Pilaf from Dragon Ball, Android 18, wait, Android 17, the male counterpart, the male
17. 17, yeah.
Yeah. So that should be really fun. That's all on the Toyzilla Network channel on Twitch. And how about you, PJ?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. My name is PJ. You can find me everywhere at pj.mcgaw. When I'm not here at the table with my friend Mike and all you awesome people in chat, I am doing the flagship show, Edge of Legends, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Wednesday nights. The story is getting crazy, and the whole world's about to open up in some really fun ways. Friday nights, I'm doing Secret, that's CCRIT, on the Life Action Roleplay Twitch show. We are bringing back the Arcana High, but now the boys and girls go to college. And that being said, I'm going to have to cut this very short because I have to go to a reading. Apparently, I'm doing a reading of a fantasy script. So wish me luck. You guys have a wonderful time, and I'll see you same Nat time, same Nat channel, At the Table and Edge of Legends.
Bye.
See you next time. Bye.